got the little man, you got the big man, and you got the bigger man.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Nitro Maniac TV's Wrestling Unlimited. I'm Kellen Nitro, coming at you with another classic Nitro steak here tonight on the channel. Time to introduce our players to the show, and of course, the show itself. Well, it's our first ever TNA pay-per-view, classic TNA pay-per-view that we are looking at tonight, and it was Moorhouse's pick. You know what? We're going to change the order around. We'll bring forth the guy that picked this one. Yes, it's the Russell House. It's Moorhouse from Kayfabe Media joining us tonight. How you doing tonight, sir?
I've been doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing great. It was your pick this time around, and you selected TNA Unbreakable 2005, and we will get after that shortly. However, we must introduce our player free. If I am the hardcore wrestling fan, and Moorhouse is the maniacal madman of media I got to come up with a better nickname for you.
The mogul of each VHS. I don't know.
the VHS mogul. Yeah, I like that. All right. It's Mr. Moorhouse. We've got, the Lapsed fan, and our favorite Lapsed fan, who's never a lapsed man. He is our version of Mr. Iguana. It is Mr. TL.
Hey, yo.
You'll laugh when you see Mr. Iguana. We'll just say that.
Will I? You know how much I love comedy wrestling.
That's exactly right.
You're going to hate your birthday present this year.
You might also hate our next contributor as well, then, because he is the master of comedy, of course, on these podcasts. We got the one and only Craig P. Frazier joining us tonight from a secluded hideaway in the Swiss Alps. Mr. Frazier, how are you?
I'm not ready yet. Come bring me back in like 2 minutes.
Okay, we'll mention in the thing when you're ready.
He can't come to the phone right now. He's wearing the towel.
Okay, so we got to wait a couple of minutes here. So that's fine. That's fine. Well, hey, it's been a busy time for us here at the channel because we've got other things on the go as well as this. This is Moorhouse's first pick on the wheel of picking, I guess, and he decided to select again TNA Unbreakable 2005 here on the channel, and yeah, there you go. That's also available on YouTube too. So that's how I think the majority of us watched it was on YouTube, and
I included, yes.
There's a better look of the cover of the DVD and that stuff. Man, that was at the time when TNA was just cranking out DVDs left, right, and center too. Like they had like for a 2 or 3 year period, a whole selection of DVDs that you could pick out, and they had compilations and everything. So that's it. So hang on, let me just check in there. Craig, you ready? Hello?
His mic's off.
Bueller?
Oh, is it off? No, it's on.
Oh, for God.
It's feed Craig. I like it.
Yeah, where is it?
He's drunk. He's drunk.
Drunk feed.
Hello.
Well, shalom and mahalo to you too, Craig. How are you?
That was worth it.
That definitely was. Yes.
I've been waiting to bring this one out for a while.
I see. Exactly. The only problem is your voice is a little muffled, so like the entire podcast might be like
Underwater.
There we go.
It's over with.
the Kenny of the South Park Nitro Maniac TV's Wrestling Unlimited contributors is.
Woo!
Yes.
That's right.
There we
We
go.
have some Kyle.
Yeah, there you go.
I bought that Fiend mask when I was thinking about like I have to play a demon character in my LARP,
Okay. Yeah.
and so I was like, I have everything figured out except the mask. And then
Okay.
I
Yeah.
was like googling the Fiend costumes,
Yeah.
on stuff, and I saw that mask. It's actually a pretty good quality one with the leather.
It looks decent. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
And so I put that on with my demon horns, and I play Belphegor. But I very much
Belphegor.
pay tribute to Bray Wyatt and the Fiend
Love it.
by doing that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, cool.
That's sweet. That is cool. Yeah, and you know what? Give your LARP site the plug right off the bat here in case anybody wants to take a look at pictures and stuff like that. Because I think do you not have pictures of you in the Belphegor
I
costume?
do. I can find one pretty quick here.
Yeah. What is the website?
The website is darkascensionlarp.com. Dark Ascension.
Yeah, that's easy to spell.
It is. It's not that bad.
I'm
How do you spell Ascension, Ty?
I don't know.
That's as close as I'll get. So there we go.
Oh, no. Okay, so it's ASC
Oh, okay. Hang on. I'll change that.
Ascension ASCENSION.
Yes. Okay, we'll try that.
Yeah.
My dyslexia again hit. There we go. That's it.
Oh,
Boom.
sorry. SION. Dark Ascension.
SION. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It's an easy to spell website.
Told you.
Oh, I see what I did wrong there. Okay, third time's the charm, and yeah.
I'll try to find.
It's like I don't know if that's.
You just discovered a problem.
That's it. That is it. That is correct.
Yes, let's drive people to our website and make the URL impossibly hard to spell. Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's all
Well,
good.
he never considered Kellen would have to go there.
Well, hey, I try. What can I say? He's just shaking his head in the corner. He's like, why? How are we gonna this?
Right. So I'll do the quick photo, and we can get right into it.
Yeah.
Well,
We'll start here and if once you're ready, let us know. So, but anyways, yeah. So we're gonna get into the TNA 2005 Unbreakable pay-per-view from September 11th, 2005 from the Impact Zone in just a quick second. But TL, we've missed some shows. So we're going to do a massively quick lightning round of
Lightning round.
Opinion and review from the shows that we have missed. They were free, but for the purposes of this, we're talking too, because I'll just sum up the Worlds Collide YouTube stream that happened yesterday in one word. Fantastic. I enjoyed. Was very good.
Good. Next.
Anyways,
Let's hit it.
Backlash from April. We'll go match by match here quickly.
Run it down.
Opening match was the Fatal 4-Way match for the U.S. Championship. Jacob Fatu defeating LA Knight, Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre in 1755.
Good SmackDown main event. Next.
All right. Lyra Valkyria defeating Becky Lynch by pinfall for the Intercontinental Championship, 1845.
Nobody likes the Bird Girl. Next.
So we had Dominic Mysterio defeating Penta by pinfall for the Intercontinental title. That ran 9 minutes and 20 seconds.
That's because Grande Americano came in and headbutted Penta in the head with an eye thing patch shield.
A metal shank.
It's
His
the
metal
dumbest.
plate.
I hate it. I hate it. Next.
Gunther defeating Pat McAfee by technical submission, 14 minutes.
This was not needed. Next.
Why were we watching that? Anyway, so and then the main event was John Cena, the champion, defeating Randy Orton by pinfall. Runtime was 27 minutes and 50 seconds.
Good match, but see how John Cena looks really, really old and pale. And also, R-Truth came in and somehow stopped Randy Orton from punting John Cena in the head. And cost Randy Orton the match in his hometown.
And then R-Truth ended up getting slammed through a table during the press event after.
Yes, he did.
Orton has a justified heel turn.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes, he does.
So that
and
was
also, for like the 9th straight time, the crowd goes home unhappy under a Triple H booking.
So that was Backlash. In between Backlash and Money in the Bank, we had a Saturday night's main event. The only thing I'm really going to talk about there was John Cena defeating R-Truth in a match that I actually enjoyed because it was like Cena defeating his former self in the ring.
Yeah, because R-Truth came out as Ron Truth. No, what was it? Ron Cena.
Ron Cena. Yeah. Ron Cena. Yeah. Yes. So now, fast forward to last night. Money in the Bank.
In between there, Ron Cena got fired. Or not
That's
released.
right.
Yes.
Yeah, he got released.
He got released. Fast forward
that's an important fact.
Fast forward to last night where it was Money in the Bank in Los Angeles. That was at the Intuit Dome. The opening contest was the women's ladder match, Money in the Bank contract. Naomi is your women's Money in the Bank winner, defeating Alexa Bliss, Rhea Ripley, Roxanne Perez, and Stephanie Vaquer in 25 minutes and 15 seconds. Go.
Good showing for the new girls. Roxanne Perez is still not interesting. Alexa Bliss has kind of been lost in the shuffle. And Rhea Ripley. Why is she not in the main event anymore? Naomi actually become the most interesting character.
Yeah, she has, because now you can open it up onto any women's belt, basically. You can.
No, but also she's like legitimately like bipolar-y crazy. It's a good character.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but I was saying that now with the U.S. and the Intercontinental titles now on the women's side, she can cash in on any of those as well. That's included with the cash in now. So
why would you cash in on a secondary title, Austin?
Yeah, why would you cash in on a secondary title?
I don't know. It's out. It's an option. It's out there. Okay, we're moving on. Anyway,
I have the photo ready to go.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Craig's got his photo. Here we go.
I'll present here.
Yes.
Here we go. Voila.
And, here we go. Add to stage. There we go. Sweet. I didn't know what we could do. That's awesome, dude.
That is me in full Balthagor kit. And,
yes.
We got a lot of great shots of us fighting. And
we're screen sharing. Look at this. The very first ever screen share on the channel. I love it.
we actually built our own little ritual ring. You can see everybody dressed up as ghouls behind me there. We ran out onto the field, and there's a shot of all of us running around attacking each other. It was a great time.
Yeah, that's awesome. Looks great. Cool.
Oh yeah, I love the 15th century houses in the back.
Well, we don't live in the 15th century, so we have to kind of make do with what we have.
I just love the architecture. It's beautiful.
You do what you can do. So.
You have to suspend disbelief. That's what any good theatric performance must allow.
Okay, but what did everyone else think of your LARP character outfit?
Loved it. Not a lot of wrestling fans in our.
So you can get away with it being original.
Yeah.
Well, no. I never tried to pass it off as original. I told everybody. I said, this is a wrestling character's mask. I showed them. There was one player who did know wrestling, was like, actually, that's really sweet that you have the Fiend mask up there. Yeah. It's done out of tribute. It's a really spooky, creepy mask. And with all the extra kit and the horns and everything on it, it kind of looks a little, it's not as Bray Wyatt-y, but definitely an homage to the late Bray Wyatt.
You're also close enough to winning like every single Halloween contest you'll ever enter in for like the rest of your life, dude.
Oh, dude, I'm handing out candy in that this year.
Yeah, that's what I can say.
Yeah, you just got called down the stairs.
Yeah.
I say he's gonna open the door with the theme song, isn't he?
Yeah.
No. So because my dog barks, he's just very reactive. So what I do is I camp out on the driveway. So last year, I used a lot of my LARP bins and stuff, and I put them on the driveway, and I put the bowl of candy out, and I wore my full night costume, and so I just stood there and froze like a statue. And I got a couple people pretty good because I would just turn when people walk up to the bin, and the little kids, they get with it. They're like, "Oh, that's cool." Right. And they just kind of stare at you. Whereas like teenagers, I thought I wouldn't scare any teenagers, but like 15, 16-year-old, like they lose it. They're like, I moved when I grabbed the candy bowl, they're like, "Ah!" Like ran down the driveway.
That's awesome. That's cool.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what Balthagor with the Fiend mask does this year.
Nice. That's cool.
You can also add the Stephanie Vaquer horns on that thing.
The horns I use are technically, I think they're a set of Maleficent horns.
Nice.
There you go.
It's pretty close to the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
We
it's
put
curve
the
a different way.
horns
That's it.
I look good. The kid looks good. I put it together with my buddy Taylor.
Yeah.
We loved it.
Sick. Sounds good. Right on. All right, we'll wrap up the Money in the Bank lightning round quickly here. We had a last-minute Intercontinental Championship match thrown out there. Dominic Mysterio with Liv Morgan defeating Octagon Jr. by pinfall. Runtime was 4 minutes and 55 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I thought too. Anyways,
Who are
Octagon
you?
Jr. Huh?
yeah, who are you exactly?
He's like any other luchador you've ever seen. He does all the same moves.
Uh-huh.
He just doesn't look as impressive.
Something tells me that this should have been Ray Phoenix's spot, and maybe Phoenix got hurt at Worlds Collide. I'm not sure.
I don't know what happened, but I'm like, okay, cool.
But anyway, whatever. Last chance match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship ran 15 minutes and 20 seconds. Becky Lynch defeats Lyra Valkyria by pinfall. Yeah. So.
Oh, update. No one still likes the bird girl.
What's her character?
She's a bird.
She's a bird.
What animal is she, Ty?
The
A
bird.
bird.
I love it.
Don't encourage this house.
I'm
the
just having a good
surfing
time.
It's a surfing bird. You gotta love it. Oh man. There might be free bird here in a couple of years because it's kind of going down the road of no one cares, and then the next thing you know, it's release town. So we'll see what happens.
And then AEW feud with Sasha Banks.
Okay, let's not get that far. But Money in the Bank men's ladder match for the championship match contract. Seth freaking Rollins defeats Andrade, El Grande Americano, LA Knight, Penta, and Solo Sikoa in 33 minutes and 35 seconds. Also notable in this match, Solo and Jacob Fatu no more. They Splitsville.
Yeah, that was the most important part. Is that Jacob Fatu? He stopped Solo from going up the ladder.
Yeah.
And said, "I hate you," and then gave him a nice Samoan drop.
Yes. Great.
Mhm.
SummerSlam match? Probably, I think.
Maybe sooner.
Yeah, that's Saudi event.
WWE doesn't hold anything back anymore.
That's right. That sucks. Oh, well. And then the tag team main event, Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso defeats John Cena and Logan Paul by pinfall. Runtime 23:45. Asterisk caveat at the end. The return of Ron Killings. Not our
He's no
truth.
longer Truth,
Ron
yeah.
Killings.
No,
to
Cole
WWE.
called him our truth.
Yeah, but he changed all his social media, and the merchandise are now all Art Ron Killings.
It's all at Ron Killings now.
That'll
So-
be short-lived.
No, it's his new contract. He said he wants to be able to market his own merchandise once he's released from it after this contract's over.
right.
Because this was an emergency. Please let us rehire you. Our PR is going bad. Rehire.
Yeah.
Hmm.
This was a terrible decision, and we're admitting it was a terrible decision. So
And
please.
Triple H tried to play it off like it was all part of a storyline plan. Bullshit.
No, it was a terrible decision. That's
It was a PR. It was a PR save.
Yeah.
I don't watch
Yeah.
that much, but I did hear our truth on socials, like he got released. It wasn't a work. It was an actual release.
Yeah, he was actually released. And then the backlash the past couple of weeks from the fans has just been just to the point where stuff is happening.
PR
So,
save. Yeah.
yeah, that definitely was a PR save. Yes.
This happened one time with Samoa Joe.
Yep.
Oh, but he
Yeah,
got released when he
WWE.
was a commentary guy.
Yeah, when he was a commentary guy. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're caught up. We're up to date. That's it. That's the end of the lightning round.
Woohoo!
Even though there
Oh,
was a
and
little bit of a
Carlito was
lull in-
released. And Carlito was also released.
But there's not
That's
as much of a
cool.
backlash for him.
There was no backlash.
There's no backlash for Carlito. No.
That's
No backlash for Carlito.
Not cool.
not
That's
cool.
it. So, there we go. Now let's do the show we came here to do. So
Show we came to do.
the show we came to do, we're going back to September 11th, 2005. I know. Calm down there.
years.
Yeah, that's right.
20 years in
To
the
the
past.
Impact Zone. Orlando, Florida, which is Studio 12 on the Universal lot, I believe it is. It's the old Nickelodeon studio. Anyway, it's Unbreakable 2005 came your way on pay-per-view during that, but we watched it via the TNA YouTube, or if you're Moorhouse, you watched it on DVD. I thought I had the DVD. I did not. So
I YouTubed it too because I was lazy.
Oh, you YouTubed it too. Yeah. So there we go. So one thing about classic TNA pay-per-views that they've uploaded on their YouTube, there are like commercial blacks put into them. That's just so they can make their revenue off of the YouTubes. That's it.
Which is funny because there's no ads in there.
It's just a blackout. Yeah.
Yeah. It
fades to black and it comes back. Yeah. I encountered like maybe one ad. That's it.
Because the first time I happened, like, that's weird. They're still in the same spot.
Mm-hmm. It's like they put the blacks in there and then forgot to put their monetization settings up. So
yeah, that sounds like funny. TNA for you.
Yeah. So oh well, whatever. But anyway, so TNA, if you're watching, maybe just check your AdSense. I'm just saying, you know. Anyway, so the show starts with a tribute on screen. This event is dedicated to the unbreakable spirit of the American people. So this is, of course, what is it? 4 years after 9/11, I should say.
And they were talking, and Katrina was the big focus. The announcers did say
Hurricane Katrina happened literally like 2 or 3 weeks prior to this pay-per-view. Yes. So they were doing all the fundraising efforts and that stuff. And I think during the pay-per-view, they were flashing a 1-900 number during the matches and that stuff for Red Cross where you can donate to and that stuff. So that's that. So this is the last pay-per-view of the Fox Sportsnet era for TNA. Yes. So when TNA Impact started in 2004, they were on Fox Sportsnet. They go to Spike TV in October, and they actually have a long run on Spike TV. They go from 2005 to about 2011, 2012 on Spike TV.
2012 till
yes.
Then they went to the Game Show Network, I think.
Yeah, went to Game Show Network.
Right after Supermarket Sweep, get your TNA Impact action.
They were on True TV, I think, for a bit. They were
True TV.
Kind of bouncing all over, and now they're on Access TV in the States, I believe.
Which used to have the NHL.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant local cable access television.
No. It's AXS TV. Access TV.
I know they're nowhere near this level, but
I think I do remember watching TNA wrestling on Spike TV in between rerun episodes of Pros versus Joes.
Yes. Yes.
Also Spike TV just capitalizing on all the misogyny, just like those trailers they would run in between the splitters. Yeah. Just guns, cars, some chick touching herself and two guys
Slam
fighting.
Ball. Slam ball.
It's like TV for men.
Yeah. TV for regular guys.
Regular dudes.
Entourage marathon.
Nothing but cops.
Yeah, the endless reruns of Cops, the 6-hour blocks of Cops, which was always fun on that channel. Spike TV. Wow.
Followed by Bar Rescue.
Hey, legit. That channel was Bar Rescue, but until they rebranded to Paramount Network. I think they still play Bar Rescue on that channel. I'm not sure.
Who's the guy from Bar Rescue? Even though he had a lot of experience with bars, I just found him always annoying and just terrible.
I actually know his name, Joe Taffer.
Taffer.
You
don't just come in there. He just be like, your bartenders are not doing the right mix. Just like, get the fuck out of here. I already don't like you.
He had the funniest get out game I've ever seen in my life. Is where he's so livid, he's gonna like rush out the car, and then he slowly paces himself to the venue. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
A power walk?
Like, he's touching raw chicken. I've had enough of this. I'm getting out of here.
And slowly walks into the
and he slowly walks into the bar.
It's the Bob Stauffer runway walk.
Yeah, literally. He gets out of the car like he's gonna have a heart attack, and then as soon as he closes the door outside of the vehicle, he starts slowly. Like it just does not match the energy. It was the funniest shit I've ever seen. From the first to the last time I've seen it, it's still funny.
Yep.
Go back and YouTube it. You'll crack every time now.
I'm gonna go check that out too. So this opening video
What the hell was this?
Well, we go from a very pro-patriotic America rules, whatever.
Who voiced this over? Was this Kermit in his regular voice?
It was somebody doing a bad.
It was a cartoony
Howard
voice.
Cosell impression.
That is not Howard Cosell.
No, it wasn't. But
that's Big Bird on his day off.
So I did a deep dive on this, as I often do, and I wondered why the NFL knock off, and it's because this pay-per-view was going head-to-head with the opening weekend of the NFL in 2005.
Oh yes,
Lord.
You're going to win that one, TNA.
Don't watch NFL. Come see us.
We're
going to give you Simon Diamond. We're going to give you
of
Simon
NFL
Diamond.
football in September. They go head-to-head with.
Yeah, don't watch Michael Vick and Terrell Owens on their new team, the Philadelphia Eagles. Why don't you watch them wrestling where this is our opener?
I was going to say, do we have time for a quick side note?
Go for it. Oh, we do.
Ty's new quarterback.
No, we're going to skip over that.
Fair enough.
He's not happy. I can't talk because my new quarterback's from the Vikings, and he's Sam Darnold, I believe, is the guy. Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah. He's not very good.
He might be better than Aaron freaking Rodgers.
At 40, how old is he? 67 now?
Yeah, is he legit 42 years old or something?
I think he's 42 this year, yeah.
Is Aaron Rodgers older than Tomlin? That's the question.
I don't think so. Tomlin's in his 40s.
Tomlin's in his 50s, I think.
50? Yeah, I was gonna say he's older than his.
Well, so is Rodgers. No, just kidding.
Early 40s. I think.
Is he a player coach? Is that what?
He's like one hit away from being dead.
Yes.
Never mind the
his
concussions.
brain already shows that. So
yeah.
Who's the backup? Is it Mason Rudolph?
So what you're saying is come to watch the Steelers, but stay for the trade wreck on offense. Okay, gotcha.
It's a college watching year. It's a college watching year.
It's a college watching year. Maybe Ty will get into the CFL. We'll see. I don't know.
I love the CFL. Not yesterday, but I love the CFL.
No, I didn't either. But I mean, that's just 1 week. That's
speaking of things worse than the CFL. Let's talk about this opener.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go. Nice segue. So we will summon our favorite thing and just say, "Oh, Undertaker." Below the screen is Nitro Maniac TV Undertaker, showing all the news and notes from yesterday, or not even yesterday. Well, it is kind of yesterday. It's from the 2005 Unbreakable pay-per-view, all the times and stuff. So there you go. Yeah, there's a couple of preliminary matches. Nothing really there. They shot a couple of angles prior to the show. We'll talk about that as they roll. So the opening contest, the Diamonds in the Rough, Elix Skipper, David Young, and Simon Diamond versus the Free Live Crew, the aforementioned Ronda Truth Killings, Conan, and BG James. Yes, when we got to this opener, Moorhouse, I was about ready to call you and be like, dude, what the hell are we watching? Why are we watching this?
We were watching it for the main event, guys, yeah. And I took notes while, having some narcotics, and yeah. We'll have fun with these notes. So I think Simon Diamond
were the bookers on narcotics that did this show. No,
so I believe Simon Diamond would do very, very well in your local independent wrestling territory.
Oh,
I believe that's the energy he brings.
Yeah. I could
he
definitely
just has
see him as
nothing
PWE.
there. I found this to be a squash house match. Like this would be something I would see at your local wrestling show.
Yep. 4 minutes and 20 seconds. That's the opener.
I was gonna say, like, Road Dogg just doesn't look like he belongs in this match or with this stable. I was just like, he looks like somebody's dad. He's just like, yeah, I'm street.
What's up, fellow homies?
Like Ron Killings is out there just like, oh man, I got to do with this shit.
Still, this has to be one of the, I don't know how to say this, the two worst names of tag teams ever facing each other.
Diamonds in the Rough versus Free Live Crew.
Free Live Crew. Get the fuck out of my sight.
Two Life Crew. That was the band, right?
Yes, that was the group.
That was,
and these were the 3 Live Crew. So now it no longer has a pun, and it makes no sense.
Versus,
and you have a 50-year-old wrestler and a 40-year-old Spanish wrestler, and then a hip hop guy.
30-year-old K Quick.
Yes.
Who can sell the gimmick though?
Yeah. Well,
I guess, but I don't know why Road Dogg looks like Bubba Ray Dudley's like less successful brother in that match.
Looks like he just came from an autocross tournament.
Yeah. So again, yes, Diamonds in the Rough look like every opening match indie tag team you've ever seen in your life. And
generic.
And then Free Live Crew is just weird. This is a strange deal there. Your commentary team for this is the in-house kind of legendary team for TNA. Mike today is your play-by-play guy, and Don West is your commentary person, your color commentator, I should say. This is the first time we've done a TNA show, so guys, we'll go around the horn here. What are your thoughts on Mike today and Don West as a commentary team?
Or as I like to call them, Shouty and Brainiac.
I guess I don't know the commentary because I'm so focused on sometimes when I watch the matches, like I might miss things the commentary is saying because I guess I don't know, like I guess that's how I've always watched wrestling. So like I didn't mind them. Like I'm not.
They're just background noise.
Yeah, I'm not on the hate train, but yeah, I mean like, they're not in my top 5 pairings probably.
Yep.
For me, I would have him I'd probably have him at top number 5 exactly for top 5 pairing. I've always loved Mike Tenay even since his WCW days. I always found him Mr. Information, as Mr. TL says.
Yes.
And then Don West, I grew to respect him more as I got older. Like at the time, I probably wasn't as a big fan, but as I got older, I'm like, oh, he doesn't know anything about wrestling, but he's loving every moment of watching wrestling. And it shows. And he's also a great marketer. Like he could chill anything.
Oh, yes. So before his run on TNA, Don West was like the shopping network in the States lead sales guy. Yeah.
That's why he sounds like he's trying to sell me on a ShamWow.
He was the guy.
Crap.
If you have a chance later on, you got to Google Don West, baseball cards, because back in the late 90s, he had this, it's still viral to this day, video thing where he's trying to sell a set of baseball cards. And he made it sound like you have to have these baseball cards, and they are like it's like holding the answers to the universe or something.
That's
like
how he sells things. Yes.
Yeah. There's no limit, and the thing is that he ratchets it. It's like listening to, this is a hyper local reference, TL, but it's like listening to like a Jack Michaels play-by-play call, the final minute of a hockey game or something.
Yeah, but that's actually exciting.
This is not about Tony Roma's ribs.
Yeah, he just is like, we're talking like, he'll start with Don West. He'll start at like a 2, and then 30 seconds later he'll be at a 5, and then 2 minutes later he'll be at like 150. And
sounds
it's like a car going, blah, 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 blah,
Sounds like he did a line of OxyClean.
I do love how Jack Michaels calls are, and like when he gets ramped up, it always sounds like he's been like tied up with ropes and somebody's just tightening them. So he's always just like, great scene by Skinner, what a game! And you're just like, somebody untie Jack.
Hey, that's Jack at his best. What are you gonna do?
It's great. That's pulsating hockey.
Pulsating, yes, exactly. Can you tell we're in the middle of a cup run here, everybody? There we go. That's it. We'll see what happens. Fingers crossed. This match, like we said, we wrapped up with that. And the only other note I have for this opener is that Simon Diamond was a road agent for TNA at this time, so that's probably why he got on the pay-per-view. So that's it.
That was noteworthy? I could have gone the rest of my life with never knowing that, and nothing would have been different.
And the finish, Conan froze the shoe at David Young for the 1-2-3. That's it.
Yep.
That was the finish.
This is why you shouldn't watch the NFL, kids, because this could happen instead.
Unless you're a Bills fan at the time, like I was.
That would have been a rough time.
Yes. Remember, this is that's it. So and we go back to a video package that shows what happened on the pre-show. We had Monty Brown, who came out and challenged the winner of the NWA title match for Bound for Glory for the next pay-per-view in October. Jeff Jarrett takes to the ring and gets into an altercation with Monty Brown because Jeff Jarrett wants to take on whoever the NWA champion is, naturally, of course. And then Jeff Hardy hits the ring to fight Jarrett. So there's a schmoz between the three of them. More on that as we continue on with the show.
I did find it hilarious that clearly Carmella took her gear from Monty Brown.
There's a lot of Monty Brown might be one of the more influential wrestlers from the 2000s, man.
He might be. That cheetah skin trench coat?
Yes.
To this day.
That's sick.
To this day. Mercedes Moné is wearing that right now.
And how many wrestlers are doing the pounce now as a setup?
I don't know, to be honest. I wish more people would do his walk.
Move.
Yeah, it's a shoulder tackle off the opposite ropes.
Off the side, yeah. The guy got to make sure he's ready.
I just like his walk because he's clearly maybe 5'7", but he walks like this.
Yeah, he's
I like the knockoff. Well, we'll talk about that when this match comes up. But I like the knockoff.
Monty Brown played college football at Fair State.
Oh, for God's sakes!
For the Buffalo Bills.
Yes,
yes, he did.
Yeah. Former NFLer. Yes,
and he was 6'2". He was my height. He was a big dude.
Mm-hmm.
Big white dude. Yeah,
still is a big dude. So there we go. Probably a little bigger now that he's retired. But anyway, yeah, you know what? I forgot to mention this off the top, but we'll get everybody's opinion on it right now. There's obviously a different aesthetic to TNA wrestling, and it's a massive eye-opener for somebody who's brand new to it to take a look at it. This is we're right in the midst of the six-sided ring era for TNA wrestling. I want to go around the horn here and get everybody's opinions on the six-sided ring, and then I will give mine. So, Moorhouse, go ahead.
I think this is TNA. It needs a six-sided ring. It represents them. It makes them different. I love it. I know some of the wrestlers hate it because it's harder to maneuver, but it makes the product that much interesting.
Mm-hmm. TL, your thoughts on the six-sided ring?
It's stupid. It hurts the wrestlers. You could do less moves with it. You had to springboard off the ropes because the corners had no support. It's dumb.
Craig?
Well, I mean, I can't. If the wrestlers didn't like it, then, and there's some of those maybe kind of I would say technical issues with the ring. For appearances, from a marketing standpoint, it is kind of fresh. It is kind of this new thing. If you were not, because I remember hearing about TNA when I was kind of just getting out of wrestling, and I saw that they had a six-sided ring, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And it's a thing that kind of can get you hooked in. But I think it is maybe one of those things where the novelty might wear off on it, especially if the performers are backstage, if there is issues. That was going to be my one thing is I didn't know how the wrestlers actually because would TNA guys be oh man, that six-sided ring, that makes it so much, it gives us so much more. If that's what they were saying, then I think it's a fantastic idea. But if they were oh no, it limits us and blah blah blah, I'd be it's kind of a gimmick thing.
Here's the thing about that back then is that the kind of the junior heavyweight / smaller athletes on the roster absolutely loved the six-sided ring because it gave them more opportunities to spring off and hit high spots and kind of create more of a faster, quicker pace to it. The veterans on the roster freaking hated it. They hated it because it was hard as concrete. They hated it because of the six sides. They hated it because of the extra turnbuckles they had to watch for. They hated it because the ropes were that much closer together, so you didn't get as much spring off of the ropes when you hit them and everything. So it's a mixed bag when you talk to ex-TNA talent about the six-sided ring and that stuff. And
as soon as they signed Hulk Hogan, he's like, that doesn't work for me, brother.
And he brought in the four-sided ring and the traditional four-sided ring. Yeah. And so to this day, with the exception of, I think for a limited run in 2017, 2018, they went back to six sides. TNA has exclusively been back to the four-sided ring. So it's something that is part of their past, but they're basically, it's gone back to the standard of the four sides, right? Which is basically universal. So
somebody AJ Styles spoke about this recently, about
He
the
did.
difference between the TNA ring and the WWE ring.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
On
don't know whose interview that was.
Was that on
Chris Van Fleet, I think.
I was going to say,
yeah.
PVD? Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where he said, in a regular ring, underneath the mat or whatever, you have the crossbars that have the natural spring.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why when you bump, it kind of just dips down and comes back up. In the TNA ring of the hexagon, there was pillars underneath to keep it up. So you landed on that shit and it was like concrete.
Mm-hmm.
So AJ is like, when I started doing my moves in WWE and landing, I'm like, oh, it's not going to murder me.
I could have had a longer career.
Yeah.
Fun story when I was younger and after watching about this era getting into watching TNA wrestling, especially after it was on Spike TV for a few weeks and that stuff, went to highspots.com and they were selling 6-sided rings where they would deliver them right to your home, like a full size 6-sided ring. Cost to get it up here would have been $10,000.
And after you bought it, where did you put it?
Nitroholic Backyard Wrestling.
Yeah. But I thought about it. It crossed my mind. I was like, what could be the ROI on this? Let's see.
Can you really put a price on the entertainment value of you getting to jump in your own 6-sided ring in the backyard?
The problem would have been trying to find the venue big enough for a 6-sided ring, because apparently
I'm sorry, that's the problem? Not you buying a $10,000 ring online?
I would like to actually, I've never been inside of a wrestling ring, of course, like a pro wrestling ring. So I would like to just gotta get in one.
Just to see what it's like.
I've always heard because the ropes are not actually like it's an actual rope and it's not like springy. It's just because there's tension. So that's why you got the spring. Just to like hit off and like run ropes and then like just take a bump on it just to see how it feels.
Take a chop.
It's not a fun feeling.
It's not as much give as you think there is.
No.
And the ropes physically hurt for some reason.
Think like taking a tackle and tackle football, except you're not wearing any pads or anything like that. You're taking the brunt of it on your back.
Oh, that's rugby. Yeah,
That's rugby.
So well, rugby tackles. Not to get too much into the weeds here.
To the legs.
You got to move on. But it's rugby. You have to wrap.
Yeah.
Right. So you can't tackle the legs, but it's usually midsection. Usually it's shoot and midsection and down. You don't get guys flying shoulders to the face. That's a huge penalty. You can't do that. So actually, I've absolutely been hit hard in football and rugby. I would say the really nasty hits in football are way worse, because in rugby you can't lead with your head because then you're gonna die. Whereas in football, your head's a weapon. So that's that.
Absolutely.
Speaking of someone who doesn't use their head as a weapon, what about the next match?
Yes.
Hey!
Austin Aries versus Roderick Strong.
Next.
I almost reached through the TV to strangle you, Moorhouse, at this point. I was like, what's going on? What are we watching
TNA.
If I wanted to watch Ring of Honor in 2005, I would plug in a Ring of Honor event from 2005 to see this. But
again, this is the journey. This is
8 minutes long, and Austin Aries defeats Roderick Strong. The story behind these two is that this was a audition match. Hang on, this was an audition match for TNA. They signed Roderick first, and then they signed Austin Aries about a week or two later. So that's it.
They didn't need a backstory.
This was a match that didn't need to be on a pay-per-view. Absolutely
not.
I thought this was a good match. Maybe I'm alone, but I thought
that's a good match. It's just both guys had no character walking in. Like, this is kind of their debut matches.
If you like this match, I can give you 5 or 6 Ring of Honor events from that same year where they've done the same match. So that's where it came from. It's like it's a Ring of Honor match in a weird ring. That's
and then going into the future, Aries has a very negative reputation in the business.
Yeah.
And Roderick Strong hasn't aged in 20 years.
Yeah, he has, and he looks the exact same. It's kind of funny.
Basically, yes.
What's to do with Austin Aries? Was he just difficult to work with?
Yes.
Yes.
He would do things like lose a match and then just immediately walk out instead of selling.
Oh, that's kind of shitty.
Things like TNA brought him back a few years ago, and he was in a main event pay-per-view world title match with Johnny Nitro John Morrison.
I just said that.
Yeah. And he just That's what he threw the belt down after, right? And just basically flipped off management.
He was supposed to lose the match, so as soon as he got pinned, he just sat up straight up and walked out of the ring. Like
no sold Johnny's finish, flipped off the management, flipped off Johnny, and then walked out of the building, basically.
And that's not the first time he's caused that type of scene. He caused it before in WWE as well when he was there.
And that was his last run, by the way. That was his most recent and last run with a quote unquote major promotion as well. So, but
I think this is why This is why storytelling is so important to pro wrestling, I think, because I came into this not knowing anything about these guys, not knowing any of like the Ring of Honor stuff or any of that background stuff, being a hardcore fan, just because I'm just like, all right, let's see what these. I've heard of both of these. I obviously know Roderick Strong from being in the Undisputed era.
Yeah.
And then I have heard of Austin Aries. I just didn't know much about him, but like just watching them work, like having seen this is the first time I've ever seen these guys in the ring together.
Yeah,
it was great. I thought like their skill.
So for a fresh fan, I could see for a fresh fan. This is. I've never seen this. This is interesting.
For sure.
I guess for a lapsed fan like myself, I've seen it for 20 years now.
There you go. That's important to note.
Yeah.
So there's a term that Kevin Nash used to use as a derogatory towards the cruiserweights in WCW. He would call some of them vanilla midgets, meaning that they're extremely small and they have no character.
Yes.
Now, he wrongfully called Eddie Guerrero a vanilla midget, who then proved Nash wrong, and Nash is a complete moron. Never,
Yeah.
Same with Benoit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, same with Benoit.
Yeah.
However, the term vanilla midget would absolutely apply to these two in this match. They are much larger men.
One of the notes I have here is Austin Aries has CM Punk level attitude, but Lance Storm level charisma.
Oh,
that's
my
good.
God.
There we go. I defer to you on that. There you go. I like that.
No, for real. He really thinks he's the greatest thing that ever happened to wrestling, but has no character whatsoever.
Yes.
Other than that look on his face. I'm like, that's not a character. That's just your ugly mug.
These are very generic looking looks for both these guys. Like, this is fresh from Ring of Honor look.
Like I said, Roderick Strong looks exactly the same at wrinkles.
Yeah, basically. And maybe like, whatever Undisputed Era or Undisputed Kingdom t-shirt or whatever the name of the faction is now, basically that's it. Let's right. Move on. We go to the backstage. Shane Douglas talks to Monty Brown, and Kip James is unhappy with how Monty's acting. There's some dissension about that. And look, they got a tag team match coming up right now where we got Kip James and Monty Brown taking on Lance Hoyt and Apollo with Sonny Siaki. So we talked about Monty Brown, of course, the former NFL player. Lance Hoyt, a former quarterback in college, and was on a bunch of CFL negotiation lists at this time. So there we go.
Still active in the business at AEW.
Lance Archer. Yes, correct.
Absolutely. Yo, but he's green as fuck in this match.
Oh, he's young. Absolutely. He's not even 2 years in at this point.
Him throwing punches is the most awkward thing I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. He hasn't had his Japan run yet. That's why.
Oh, he's never been in a fight and never had to use a punch before.
Yeah, he has not had his Pro Wrestling Noah run yet. Lance Hoyt, Archer, whatever.
Is that where they beat the wrestling into you?
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Also, Billy Gunn here looks the exact same as he does now and then and before this.
Yeah, he stepped into like a time machine or something.
It's weird. Dude. We don't age people, but we do. But we don't.
No, we don't. And Monty Brown wearing that Carmella jacket.
So my biggest note here was, why is Lance Hoyt doing high spots?
Yeah, he's doing moonsaults.
There's the Carmella jacket right there.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
that's the one.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
FABOLOUAS.
The difference is this guy didn't moonwalk. If he moonwalked in that jacket, it would be the single most terrifying sight on the planet.
He didn't have to moonwalk. He had this shit right here.
He's a big boy. He's a big beef boy.
A man that big that could kick your ass, that could dance. That would be
a lot of beef.
Forget it. It's over. It's done.
Big meaty man slap meat.
Yeah. But again, Monty Brown might be on the short list of most influential wrestlers of the 2000s.
He was popular I remember as a kid growing up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. he's become almost retroactively popular, especially over the past few years. I think people have discovered his TNA stuff and everything, and it's just like, oh, okay, yeah.
And the reason why he left the business is not selfish. Like, something tragic happened to his sister where the kids didn't have a place to go. He decided to leave the wrestling business, raise them full time, and just be a full-time dad.
Yeah, exactly. The full-time stepdad to his niece.
That's a good person.
Yeah,
respect.
Yeah, absolutely.
That sounds like a good sitcom in like a couple years.
My dad was Monty Brown.
Yes, that's a great name for a sitcom.
No. Your dad was Marquise Carvon in ECW on WWE.
Just the kids misbehaving in the kitchen. Monty Brown runs it. Pounce! just bouncing kids in the room. The kitchen.
Tackles the kids. Cupboards.
I just see like the transition of like him doing this walk to the ring, and then it just becomes him holding groceries.
My dad, Monty Brown. Trademark.
Could you imagine just this mailman showing up at the door, dropping the mail in the slot, and then all of a sudden looks to the left, looks to the right. I thought I heard something. Whatever. All of a sudden, pounce, and then that's it.
Just leave it to Monty. He's just holding the two kids on like the TV poster.
Fast forward, 2 months into the sitcom, and the mailman has really bad PTSD, so he's just coming up there, just shakes it.
He's in a body cast. He's getting pounced by Monty Brown.
Pounced by Monty Brown.
No, he's in a hospital and he looks out the window, and in a tree in the shadow you can see Monty Brown just peeling.
This is Monty Brown just looking as like Predator.
We have a solid idea for a show here, especially if you make the next door neighbor his best friend and it's Big E. It's comedy gold.
I can't wrestle anymore. I'm a neck brace. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. How's it going? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Do you envision Big E kind of being like Dr. Julius Hibbert from The Simpsons at this point?
No, he's just Big E, but he doesn't wrestle anymore.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just saying.
And he's just a hilarious neighbor.
Yeah.
Yes, he's like the Barney Rubble, but it's Big E.
It's Wilson. You just see the tops. You just see his eyes.
Yeah.
And
this meaty man bumping me.
Can we pitch the show? Can we do this?
I
this
think
was
this
more
is the pitch
entertaining
right here. Yes.
than this match.
In this match,
yes.
This is amazing. Oh my god, guys. Oh damn. Anyway,
that's okay.
Yeah. Next match, it was all about the pounce. They did it. Move on.
This is just building up to a match between Kip and Monty Brown anyway, so whatever. So
No, but everyone wants to see Monty Brown beat Kip. Nobody cares about Kip.
I think that's what happens too, is Monty Brown beats Kip anyway, so whatever. Tracy Brooks in the back has Team Canada, and it's weird kind of seeing like a young Bobby Roode here. Like this is like a very, very young Bobby Roode as a
like 3 or 4 years of wrestling.
Yeah, not even half a decade in at this point. Now, so and Eric Young's really like he's maybe even like 4 or 5 years in at this point too.
Yep.
And then,
hey, Craig, how would you describe that mullet?
It's pretty.
No,
it's pretty wet.
No.
How would I describe that mullet?
Say glorious.
Oh, it's glorious.
Oh, come on.
Glorious.
There you go.
I just
top 5 theme song of all time.
I think if he brought that back with the glorious gimmick, that would be the end of wrestling right there. That's it. We pack up and go home.
I also wonder why they're doing like Team Canada. I'm like, when I think of Team Canada, I'm like, you know what? Baseball shirts.
Yeah, right?
That's what I think of.
Our baseball jerseys.
Yeah.
Baseball jerseys are right there.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Who was on Team Canada's baseball team in 05?
I guess we would have had.
Great question.
The dude from the Rockies. He would have been retired, but still.
Larry Walker.
Larry Walker,
the big home runner.
Team Canada baseball 2005.
You got busted.
Larry Walker.
They weren't very good. Let's just put it that way. They didn't make any of those. Yeah.
For real?
Surprising, right? Yes. They did not make any of the things.
You don't say.
Next. Yes, next.
Speaking
I'll look
of,
at that some other time.
Yes.
Yeah. So
yes, we got more. More junior heavyweight action coming up.
Well, there's more to this promo too, because we have Petey Williams hyping up the Canadian Destroyer, not knowing that 20 years from now, every wrestler in the industry would be using it as a setup in the matches.
And it would change nationalities based on who's giving it.
Exactly.
Penta's Mexican, yeah.
Mexican
Bad
Destroyer.
Bunny's Puerto Rican Destroyer.
I've seen I've been watching New Japan, and the guys at TMDK have the Australian Destroyer. It's like, come on,
I just want Gunther to hit the Austrian Destroyer.
The Austrian Destroyer.
I didn't know that. We can't bring that back.
Yes, we can.
Is that kind of like the final solution there, guys? Or...
Oh no.
Hi-yo.
You can't bring back the Austrian Destroyer. Everybody's gonna go, ooh.
Yeah. That's bad.
You can't run for prime minister anymore, sir.
You know what? I didn't have any aspirations to anyway, so it's all good. We have Petey Williams versus Chris Sabin in our next match. Holy 2005 with these looks, guys. Holy smokes. They both work for WWE now. Petey's a agent, and Chris Sabin is, he's still wrestling.
Motor City Machine Gun.
Motor City Machine Guns. So this is pre-Machine Gun Chris Sabin. So there we go.
Just before he got his license.
Petey using Abyss's music for some reason. I don't know if you guys caught it or not.
Yeah.
But he walked out to Abyss's music.
Oh, that was the other thing. Nobody had remarkable music.
No, it was
anybody's entrance.
Dull, kind of diddly music. Yeah.
It was all produced by Jimmy Hart.
Yeah.
It was all garbage.
Yeah, it's all
there you go.
Really bad.
I was going to say the generic dibble. The TNA entrances, just like every entrance music was just like.
The other thing is Jimmy Hart likes to steal riffs, so you hear it like in Monty Brown's, like dun 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 dun, dun which is Naturals, which is also Monty Brown, dun 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 dun. Alpha male,
Well, yeah. So the Naturals theme was, and we'll talk about it later, is basically a Godsmack rip off, and then Monty Brown's was Disturbed, Down with Sickness.
That's why they sounded alike.
Yeah, but they were, are real bad sound-alikes, right? So 12 minutes and 34 seconds, and Chris Sabin takes the win in this match. What was the finish there? The Canadian Destroyer attempt reversed into the Cradle Shock after Sabin was blinded by an eye gouge, and he tried to give the Cradle Shock to the ref for some odd reason. But anyway, there we go.
I actually, again, this is maybe the fresh fan effect, but I really liked this match. I thought these guys were performing very well with each other. There's some great spots. I thought some great technical ability. I thought this was a good match.
Yeah, there we go.
I agree. Yeah, I thought this should have been the opener, actually. I was like, if this match opened the show, this would have got the crowd really into it.
Yes, absolutely. This should have been opening match. I enjoyed this match. It was really good. And you had a return at the end as well. But TL, we'll get his opinions on the match first, and I'll talk about the return here.
In my 9th attempt to watch this, I realized we just saw this match with 2 other vanilla midgets.
Oh.
So, I mean, yeah.
All
My 9th attempt, by the way, is because I kept falling asleep every time I tried to watch this on YouTube.
Would you have enjoyed it better if the original opponent for Petey Williams was there? Shocker was supposed to be fighting. Because they buried
Shocker.
A wrestler named Shocker was supposed to fight Petey Williams tonight.
Oh, like from Mexico? The Shocker?
Right. Yeah, yes. Shocker. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I saw some documentary where he was in it, and he can't say shocker because he has a Mexican accent, so he says the chocker.
The chocker, yeah. Exactly. Yep. His gimmick was
shut up. The choker.
We got to get this guy off TV. He doesn't sound like something else.
It's absolutely offensive, unreal. But anyways, man.
No, but I gotta say though, watching wrestling on YouTube is a bad idea because like I like to just crawl up on my laptop and then eventually I'm gonna doze off.
Yeah.
15 attempts to finish this thing.
Yikes.
On 15 different occasions, I'm like, I'm gonna watch this, I'm gonna finish it, I'm gonna have some notes.
It took me a couple of times to watch this. Yes, I'll admit it.
It took me 2 times times to watch the whole event.
I was 2 times. Yeah, the first time I did fall asleep. I fell asleep during the Monty Brown James thing.
Yeah,
so.
Raven. Raven.
That's about when I woke up the first time. I was like, oh well, I missed a ton here. All right, we'll try this again another day.
I would watch like a couple matches and like paused it and left it, and I would like maybe get back to it like the next day after work.
Yeah,
that's
smart. Of course.
Days, but like I got technically in one watch through.
Good for you.
Yeah, an uncontinuous watch through one. That's pretty good.
Yeah, right.
Mine was a legit 15 attempts at this.
Did you restart every time?
Yes, because I couldn't remember what I saw.
Oh, you're restarting every time. Well, that
remember
tells
what
a
I
different
saw.
story. You're bored because you're watching Austin Aries 15 times.
Yeah, legit. And I'm like, do I remember this? Did this happen? I think I remember this. My checkpoint was always when they showed Team Canada and the baseball jerseys. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I think I know where I am.
Yes, there we go. Yeah.
And then I doze off.
All right. Well, post match in this one, the return of Matt Bentley. Now, if you want to know who Matt Bentley is, he's Shawn Michaels' cousin. That's legit.
He looks like it.
He doesn't have any of the talent or skill, though.
Yes, he is the Marty Jannetty of the Michaels family.
I was gonna say,
is his name really Hickenbottom? Is he
Is
that kind of cousin?
Oh, hang on a second here.
Is he a Hickenbottom?
maybe he's on
Thank
the
you.
other side.
Matthew Hickenbottom.
Okay. And that is, I'm trying to
For all
say
the hot
here.
Matt Bentley
Nope.
facts. You came to the right time.
Matthew James Bentley. So no, it's not a
His
Hickenbottom.
real
no,
name's
his real
Bentley.
name.
His real name is Bentley. Yes. Yeah.
Bentley.
Bentley. Yes.
Oh, here's another vanilla midget on my screen.
And he needs to tan. Yes, he is very vanilla.
He's French vanilla.
He is
Absolutely.
white.
Next.
Exactly. So, super kick on Saban says TNA is his home, and he's heading to Bound for Glory, and that there will be an Ultimate X match at Bound for Glory, and he hits a super kick on PD Williams. So, there we go.
Basically, he's like, I wasn't good enough for WWE, so I'm back. Hi, guys.
This is fresh from his WWE tenure. Yes, he was in OVW for a bunch in 2005.
Couldn't crack TV.
Yeah. So.
I'm guessing Jim Cornette didn't like him.
No,
Jim Cornette would have denied him. Yes.
I was going to say that's okay. So this is how it goes. Not only that, Jim Cornette goes to TNA in 2006. One of his first cuts, Matt
And
Bentley.
fires him. Fires him twice.
That's hilarious. That's amazing.
I am not making that up. That is
Nice to see you again, Matt. So come to my office.
Thank you. Fuck you. Bye.
Exactly. That's what happened. Oh man. So
Next.
yeah. We have a great video package for Abyss versus Sabu, and then it goes to Abyss versus Sabu 1-on-1, and this was supposed to be a normal match, but then James Mitchell, who is serving as Abyss's manager at the time here, says we're going to make it basically hardcore rules because it's a Sabu match, and we get basically ECW rules in this for the first time tonight. This is not going to be the only time we go hardcore during this card for sure. Runtime
Exactly
for this
the same
one
type,
is exactly 11 minutes and 30 seconds is the runtime for this, with Abyss getting the W. And I think this is Sabu's is this Sabu's TNA pay-per-view debut, Moorhouse, or did he work an event before this?
I think he's already worked event, so
Okay.
he's continuing a feud.
Gotcha. So brought in as part of the Raven Abyss storyline that they were doing over the summer, and
Question. Because of ECW One Night Stand, was that 2005?
Yes.
So does he leave TNA to go do that?
I believe so, because TNA, he wasn't necessarily under contract with TNA at that point when they did One Night Stand. He gets put into contract with TNA right after One Night Stand, but I think he was working as an independent contractor.
So this is after One Night Stand or before?
Yeah. So One Night Stand was One Night Stand was June of 2005. This is September of 2005. So.
Oh, okay. So this is after One Night Stand. Gotcha.
So this is well after that. So.
Trying to fix the lighting.
Yeah. So this is something that myself and Moorhouse had talked about earlier in the week on text about and everything. There's a spot where there's a big clothesline out of the ring right in front of the Gretchen Wilson All Jacked Up banner. And I did a little bit of a deep dive, as I often do. Gretchen Wilson, the album All Jacked Up was released on September 20th, 2005 by Epic Nashville. Reached number 1 in Canada and number 1 on the Billboard Hot Country charts in the States, but 61 on the Billboard charts. The reason why they are advertising it is because Panda Energy, the group that owned TNA at the time, helped fund part of the recording process because Dixie Carter and Gretchen Wilson are girls. They are friends from what.
Yeah, because, when you speak of wrestling, you don't really say Gretchen Wilson fans.
Useless information here on Wrestling Unlimited.
The hot info here.
I literally just saw Craig's mind turn off and turn on again, like a computer rebooting.
I was trying to figure out who the fuck is Gretchen Wilson.
Thank you.
It's just like, I was like, all right. So she had a song called "All Jacked Up."
All Jacked Up. Well, that was her hit. Yes.
She did this because she's friends with Dixie Carter.
Yeah.
There's some legal issues. Big Republican. Great.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Carter's.
Yeah.
Next. All right, there was a match in there somewhere.
Yeah, Sabu and Abyss match. Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Where they did 100 chair spots.
Thoughts on this, because it's basically a hardcore rules match.
You know what I call Abyss? Kane kind.
He is a love child between Mankind and Kane. Yes.
He's a 6'11" Kane or Mankind.
Mankind, basically.
Kane kind.
But can't cut a promo like Mankind, so he's much like early day Kane.
Well, that's where the Kane part kind of kicks in a little bit. The height and the lack of speech, but the mask and the look and everything.
Yeah.
Mankind.
And the selling. Yep.
Kane kind, my friends.
It was like TNA brings in Abyss in 2004, I think. Or 2003, I should say.
Okay, look, Tanae, it doesn't matter. This match was whatever.
Well, no, I'm just saying he's kind of pigeonholed as that hardcore guy till about 2009, 2010, when they start, kind of doing some sports entertainment stuff with him, right? So
does he become a therapist or a doctor or a lawyer?
He's a lawyer. He's also a lawyer.
He is a lawyer. Chris Park.
And there's a point where if he wears the Hall of Fame rings of Hulk Hogan or Ric Flair, he turns into Hulk Hogan or Ric Flair.
Oh my Lord.
That's later day TNA.
They should have thrown him in the abyss. Never to return. Craig, what are your thoughts of seeing Abyss? Because I don't know if you've ever really seen Kane kind before.
I have. He was one of the wrestlers that kind of got my attention when I first. When I first kind of saw TNA wrestling back in the day, I was like, so they have a monster guy like Kane. Like definitely, it was like a Kane man. So kind of cross up.
So remember, the scuttlebutt around him in 2005 is that he was one of the guys that you were tuning into TNA to see is Abyss, because he had that much credit. Yeah,
than the vanilla midgets.
Exactly right.
I mean, I thought he seemed fine. Like I thought this match with Sabu was a good match. Like I didn't hate it. I wasn't bored. I thought, I'm like, yeah, okay, it's chair spots and boom, boom, bang, bang. I do think his whole thing that he does is stupid, like his whole little symbol thing where he comes up and he goes, yeah. it's the dumbest thing ever. It's so stupid. But I mean, I don't know. This was a good match.
Was it though?
Yeah.
Or have you seen a million matches just like this?
Well, I mean, that's the thing is like I probably don't have the million matches watched under my belt. Maybe more of the jaded wrestling fan opinion.
Yeah.
So I'm watching this kind of like, all right, cool. Let's see what this is. I watched it and I was like, yeah, Sabu flipping around. I got some chair spots. You got a concerto kind of deal. You got Abyss doing his weird arm thing. But like, I mean, he seemed like a big, like a pretty good big man doing this. Besides the dumb hand gesture, I thought, I don't know. It was an okay match.
But don't you get it? It's his Mankind clashing with his Kane.
He's confused.
I thought he was just like really upset, and that was his like.
It is. He is upset.
The power of Christ compels you moment.
So if he evolves, does he shave his hair and then wear dude love clothes?
Yes, he does.
So he becomes like,
And he gets a voice box changer.
a Dude Kane.
Oh,
If I do not win the
Dude Kane.
title,
Daddy-o. Let's get fucking
That one very
high.
Mongolian by accident.
it sounds like that one, like I forget that one electro song where the guy's like bam bam beedo bam bam beedo bam bam beedo bam.
Oh,
is that
the song?
Rihanna?
I remember that song in Hot Fuzz.
With the
Super Troopers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
with the house beat in the background.
Yeah. With the German couple, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, I remember that. Yeah, good track. So Black Hole Slam off of the double springboard into the tax by Abyss 41-2 free. Of course, Sabu passed away recently. I don't think I've done a show since he passed. So
No.
hardcore legend, hardcore icon. Sucks to see him go. Man, it'll be a debate for another day and that stuff, but definitely one of the founding fathers of ECW, and definitely are on that Mount Rushmore of like the four faces of ECW. Sabu is definitely one of them, and just an incredible legacy on the hardcore side of the business for sure. So.
Most copied and most stolen from wrestler in history.
I would think so, yes, because he was at a point in the mid 90s where he would generate so much offense and so much unique stuff that within 2 weeks, what he had done 2 weeks prior was on both WWF and WCW TV. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
All the cool spots that you've ever thought of in the past 20 to 30 years was Sabu originally doing it.
He did that on rings that were less than forgiving in like 93, 94, 95. Yeah.
Yep.
So.
One of my favorite Sabu stories that just came out is RVD said he liked to botch his moves on purpose just so the writers would have something to talk about.
Yeah. So you can see his name in the sheet. Because
I think even Lance Storm has a clip where he's like, hey lads, do this, and then he does it, but Sabu messes up. He's like, what? And Lance like, what happened? Sabu's like, you see that? I messed it up. Lance is like, yeah, what are you doing?
Just laughing.
Yeah, somebody mentioned that on a recent interview.
Lance Storm. Yeah.
Lance Storm.
No, but it wasn't Lance Storm.
RVD said it too recently too.
RVD on the Van Vliet. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Sabu, even like as much as he was copied, I mean, Sabu took so much from his uncle, the Sheik.
Character-wise, yes, but he did it in a much different way.
The Sheik wasn't a high flyer.
He had to because Sabu was a smaller athlete compared to the Sheik. Yeah. The Sheik was a big dude. So
Sabu took a lot of his moves from Hayabusa in Japan. His style.
That's right. Yeah. And he watched a lot of the Super Junior stuff. So Hayabusa, Jushin Liger, Great Sasuke, guys like that. So
my boy Hayabusa.
Yes, exactly. So next. Alex Shelley is looking for Sean Waltman because apparently they won the Chris Candido Memorial Tag Team Tournament together, and now Waltman isn't at the pay-per-view. Shocker. I know, right?
Make some noise! Waltman.
No showed.
Yes, and spoiler alert, he does no show this pay-per-view. So this was
high on meth, apparently.
Yes, apparently there was a drug-related thing where he forgot the flight.
There's an actual story. He admits he was high on meth when he wrestled AJ Styles. Yeah.
Yep.
Break it down.
That's hilarious.
Kane, you're my buddy. Kane, talk. Kane, you can talk. You're my friend.
You're my friend.
But the meth worries me.
Exactly. This is an intervention. Oh, man. So Bobby,
I should be the only thing that got blazed.
Kane and the X-Pac PSA. I want to see that.
That's a great reference. You just...
Only losers smoke dope.
This is getting so dark, and I love it.
I love how this is going. Yeah, this is great.
Enough.
Just
say no.
What about Katie Vick? Don't
Oh,
talk about that.
I didn't lose my voice from smoking. Well, kinda, but it was a technicality.
Do you want to meet my brother early?
His brother's the Undertaker.
Yeah.
You're gonna die from drugs.
All right. Well, the next contest on this is Bobby Roode versus Jeff Hardy. So yeah, this is basically Bobby's singles. I don't want to say debut, but his first real big time opponent in TNA since they signed.
He's no longer a tag team partner of Team Canada.
That's right.
House, you missed it. You should have said, speaking of drugs, here's Jeff Hardy.
Oh yes, this is Jeff Hardy, and this is Jeff Hardy before his first bad incident.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is well before the Victory Road incident. This is freaking mid 2000s here. So.
Well, doesn't he leave the WWE because of drugs in the first place?
Yeah.
They want to,
So
they want to suspend him and get him drug tested. And he's like, "No, I'm Jeff Hardy."
Yeah,
I love drugs. I mean, there's nothing wrong with me.
Yeah. He goes to he's in WWE 2003. They let him go because of quote wellness policy violations, and then he signs with TNA 04-ish, yeah. And he's there
for years.
Yeah, he's in TNA for a while.
Till about 07, yeah.
Till about 06, late 06.
No, 07, I think.
No, it's like 07, 08. It's been years.
Well, he's on the December to Dismember ECW pay-per-view with Matt.
Oh, in
so that's
06?
2006, yeah. So that's late 06 that he's brought back in. So, but then he gets dumped from WWE in
because of substance abuse again.
11 or 10 because of substance abuse again. Shows back in TNA, and then that's when the Victory Road situation happens.
And he gets suspended for more substance abuse.
When does he have a program with CM Punk? Because that's right around where he gets released.
Yep.
2009,
so 9, I think.
Oh, 9, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
9, 10.
Yeah.
Okay, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Sting thing is 2010. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, it's Jeff Hardy is worth his own deep dive on it.
And then he goes back to WWE, and then he gets released again for substance abuse. No, he walks out because he's on substance abuse.
Yeah.
Then he goes to AEW, and then he gets suspended for substance abuse.
Yeah.
And then he comes back, and he's like, Tony doesn't like me, and then goes back to TNA, where he is today.
But WWE is starting to use him on WWE cards again. So
until the next time.
Please, Jeff, give me the drugs.
PSA Kane.
You're wasting your whole life.
So this is the finish of this thing was a twist of fate by Hardy after attempted PD distraction, and Jeff Jarrett nails Hardy with the hockey stick, allowing Roode to get the 1-2 free count. So hey, Bobby Roode gets a victory on his first real big singles match in TNA. So there we go. Good for him.
But this could have been a TV match.
And yes, it doesn't really add much value to the card. It's just this is kind of it's a historical footnote for Canadian wrestling fans who like Bobby Roode. So there we go. Not saying that we would in Western Canada. I'm talking to people in Eastern Canada that think that he's, fans out there. So
those couple fans in Toronto.
Yeah, the 2 fans in Toronto. That's right. So there we go. The NWA Tag Team Championship is on the line in a elimination 4-way match. So this is where Sean Waltman was supposed to be with Alex Shelley. They end up just basically, Shelley wrestles the match by himself. It's Team Canada, which is Eric Young and A1, America's Most Wanted, and the Naturals with Jimmy Hart, along with what's supposed to be Alex Shelley and Sean Waltman, but Waltman doesn't show. So
he got John Cena.
Out go Sean Waltman.
5 Cena's top level.
In comes Johnny Candido, who is the younger brother of Chris Candido, legit. And yeah, awkward.
A lot of nepotism going around in this company, hey?
Lots of nepotism.
My problem was with the storytelling. Why was he so eager to get in the ring? if he's a solo competitor. He should be doing everything he could to avoid the tag. Instead, he took the tag immediately and was like, "Oh crap, oh crap."
Yeah,
And at least the other team sold it. Like, we're not helping you.
Yeah, this whole spot with Candido, like, obviously he's jumping in there because X-Pac no shows or Sean Waltman no shows.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it just kind of fell flat. I was just like, honestly, this could have just been a tag team match between the Naturals and Team Canada.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
oh my God, it's the sister of Repo Man.
Okay.
So I was just the amount of sideways relatives in this show is killing me.
Oh yes, yeah, absolutely. Gotcha. I was trying to get what you think there though.
Sean
Earthquake's cousin.
So finish to this fig was Jimmy Hart low blowing Eric Young on the top rope, allowing the Naturals to hit the natural disaster finish, and the Naturals retain. I put in parentheses, I don't remember much of the Naturals, Chase Stevens or Andy Douglas after 2005 in TNA, to be honest. I think
is that the nephew of Shane Douglas?
No, no relation at all.
I did love the
who
Chase
is the other guy? Chase
and Andy
Stevens.
Douglas.
Stevens. Is he the son-in-law of Stevie Ray?
No,
Scott Stevens. Sorry,
Scott Stevens.
Oh, from the New Jersey Devils.
Yes, Scott Stevens.
New Jersey
Hey,
Devils.
the tag team Beer Money. Who is Beer Money?
So that
Chris Harris,
is
James Storm.
no Beer Money is Bobby Roode and
Beer Money. Yes, sorry.
James Storm. Yeah,
James Storm. So he's
Cowboy James Storm.
So he's in this match.
Yes.
He wears a cowboy hat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm starting to come together.
Screams out. His fig right now is screaming out, "Sorry about your damn luck." This is where he.
And Chris Harris is the taller, slender member of the group.
And he becomes in WWE.
Beep beep beep.
He forgot his own trivia.
Yeah. No.
Come on, Alex Trebek. What was the answer?
I was asking you guys. Who?
I know none of the panelists knew the answer for 500. So tell us what the answer
Oh,
is.
this is awkward fun. Hang on. I'm going to type in Chris Harris and find out.
He's hoping we knew, so he fed us the answer.
That's why, exactly. I was going to be like, that's it.
The one thing I did like about this match, I thought Eric Young's selling of the main final move there was hilarious. His eyes just pretty much came out full out of his skull.
Eric Young's a fucking goof, eh?
Yeah.
Braden Walker. That's who it is in WWF. Chris Harris becomes Braden Walker.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Braden Walker. And I'm going to
Braden Walker, who?
No, he didn't. There was no. He just finished it there.
That's it.
Oh.
Yeah. He had, what was it, Moorhouse? A 4-week run on ECW? That's
3-week run, 1 match, 2 promos. He gained quite a bit of weight since we saw him at this pay-per-view. He does not look anything close to what he does here.
Just a little chunky.
Like when I'm watching here, I'm like, oh, if we got this version of Chris Harris in ECW, he might have been something.
Gotcha. Fair enough. So.
This match is ass. Next.
Yes, it's. I didn't like this one at all. No, it's kind of not a great match to begin with, and the whole Alex Shelley Sean Waltman thing made 0 sense to me. And I'm
John Cena was there. You just can't see him.
I think John Cena was U.S. champ at this point. No, he's WWE
no, he's world champ already.
He's world champ already in 2005. Right there we go.
He's feuding with Angle right now.
Yeah. So. We see another Bound for Glory 2005 pay-per-view hype, and then we go into the Ravens Rules NWA World Title match. We've got Raven versus Rhino for the NWA Championship. Raven, of course, is the NWA champion at this point. So this is basically like an ECW World Title match. Rhino is fresh from his WWE departure. This is the infamous WrestleMania weekend in 2005 with the hotel lobby fight at the WrestleMania host hotel, where Rhino and his wife and a bunch of WWE agents ended up getting into a scuffle, and a bunch of potted plants got broken. Therefore, Rhino was fired from the company.
From the potted plant.
I never heard about this. Rhino got fired from WWE because of broke some potted plants
in the lobby of the WrestleMania host hotel. Yes, over Mania weekend.
So Rhino fought the WWE agents, or
so the story, from what I understand, is his wife was quite inebriated and hanging out in the lobby, and was poking fun at a bunch of agents, and the agents called Rhino to get his wife, take it back up to the room and that stuff or whatever. Something happened between Rhino and a couple of the agents, and all of a sudden Rhino and his wife are starting to throw punches at a couple of agents, and in the midst of it, it becomes a grappling match, and there's a potted plant.
They push a plant or two off a table.
Exactly. In front of, fans who are camping out in the lobby to get autographs from wrestlers and stuff. This is before, don't forget, social media really picks up, right? So there's not really
no, this made the news still,
but it did make the news. Yes, yeah. So,
hey man, they got a free show. What are they complaining about?
Plus, Rhino looked like $1 million here.
He did.
This is the best shape I've ever seen him in.
Again, he is fresh from WWE, and he's had a few months off to, kind of do whatever, I guess, and he comes back to TNA, or comes over to TNA from WWE as automatically an upper card guy. Like, he's coming off of the WWE push. He's got the ECW credibility too, because the last time they used him was on One Night Stand, which was a one-night booking. So they booked him for that one night and then said, okay, thanks later, And so he shows up. He's well, set here to be one of the top guys in TNA, which he ends up being, later on in the year. It becomes the whole fall of 2005 is the quest for Rhino to be NWA champion. He becomes like their lead babyface.
Well, he's chasing Raven, who looks at his worst I think I've ever seen him look.
Yeah, Raven just really not the. It's just it's the worst shape. Picture here, but it's not. Yeah, he's got a little bit of a gut happening, and he's just
he doesn't care anymore. He doesn't care.
Yeah. So. However, I do have written down here that Raven as NWA champion at this time was good. He could have 20, 25-minute TV matches, or he could have hardcore brawls. Either way, you knew what you were getting from him. So
I don't think he can have a 25-minute match based on this.
I'd have to look and see.
Rhino pretty much carried him the whole match. Raven did really nothing other than throw a few weapons and fall down a couple times.
Basically, yeah.
You know why Raven wasn't a good champion? Because no one gives a shit about Raven.
So
he's not even the main event.
You're referring
he's not the main event.
Yeah. No, this isn't the main event of the show. No, obviously not.
Nobody's tuning in to see Raven ever.
Yeah. I was going to say, are you referring to TNA or are you referring to ECW Raven? But yes, if you're talking about TNA Raven, yes.
TNA Raven.
Yes.
Look, after WCW, Raven's done.
Yeah. Okay.
So
he's terrible in WWE.
It's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's terrible in WWE, but I mean, like after ECW and going to WCW and having that big run, after that, he's done.
Gotcha.
Nobody wants to see Raven do anything ever again.
Mm-hmm.
This included.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't bring in ratings. This doesn't bring in people. And they put it second to last because it's not really a main event because it's Raven.
They couldn't trust these guys to carry the main event.
No, not at all.
Of course not.
And
Craig, what do you think?
To add on to top of that, they had a schmoz finish where they threw in Jarrett and Jeff Hardy and Monty Brown, who are legitimate contenders for the title. So Rhino never even had a shot to win this to start.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this match kind of seemed like a bit of a mess for me. And like Raven definitely seemed, I was going to say, he definitely seemed a little worse for wear than I think when we saw him in the ECW pay-per-view earlier. Like, which would have been the ECW pay-per-view from I would have been 7 years before this. It was, I don't know. I
couldn't move.
I like Rhino. I mean, you're right. Rhino did look great in this match. I don't know. The kind of the wrong finish. I thought Rhino should have won, but Yeah, I was like, if I don't know the storyline about this at the time.
It's rectified at the next pay-per-view at Bound for Glory. Just thinking ahead here because Rhino in the main event at Bound for Glory defeats Jeff Jarrett to win the NWA title. That's the one where Tito Ortiz is the guest referee. And however,
Mike Tyson energy.
The match before this
thing.
the whole
thing.
Get
Chuck Liddell.
Here's the kicker to this is that's a last minute change to the card is Rhino defeating Jeff Jarrett for the NWA World Heavyweight title because it's advertised on that card to be Kevin Nash versus Jeff Jarrett for the NWA title. Kevin Nash no-shows the show. Where have we heard this before?
Trusting the outsiders, guys.
And there is a 10-man gauntlet match to replace Kevin Nash in the main event, which includes Monty Brown, which includes Rhino, which includes Jeff Hardy, which includes Jeff Jarrett. And so there we go.
Mister, you always got to be savvy to the business. Kevin Nash, no show to fucking event.
That's actually normal.
Shit. That's good.
The other note I did have when I was watching this is I think John Moxley studies this match heavily.
Oh Lord.
It seems like it, eh?
Because this had like John Moxley John Moxley level vibes.
It does have that vibe to it, doesn't it? Yeah.
So that's why I thoroughly hated the shit out of this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Raven.
So finish if anybody cares.
Heroin.
So to finish,
you don't need it anymore.
Right.
Go to the gym again.
Yes, exactly.
God, I just thought of it. Raven and Jeff Jarrett was their big draws in TNA at this time. No wonder I hated them.
This is during Jeff Jarrett's reign of terror.
Yeah, exactly.
What is worse, Triple H reign of terror or Jeff Jarrett reign of terror?
Jarrett.
The Jeff Jarrett reign of terror. The Triple H reign of terror, at least you had some imaginative opponents and you had some moments where you thought that Triple H would lose the belt legit. And then he eventually does lose the belt, even though now WWE wants to gloss over it because of obvious reasons. But,
Well, here's the thing. Triple H made me stop watching wrestling, but Jeff Jarrett made sure I never started again. So
yeah, you have moved on at that point. You'd rather watch your
Past
cricket.
1,000 guitars never drew a dime.
Yep.
I was almost completely done with WWE after when I was a kid. I remember that SummerSlam where Goldberg was tearing through everybody.
Oh, so hopefully, yeah,
he's gonna fucking kill Triple H. And then Ric Flair gives him a sledge. Like, here you go, Triple H. Use this and hit him in the head with a sledgehammer. And Triple H is like, thanks, Rick, for giving me the hammer.
That was a close
one. Runs head first into the hammer, and I was like, "This motherfucker can't win." I was so mad. I remember my parents got me the pay-per-view. I had some friends over. I was so pissed.
Yeah,
I was like, they're not gonna no. And my one buddy Alex, I remember he was just like, he's like, I'm gonna go home.
I'm leaving.
He was like, I'm gonna go home. I'm done. He's like,
that
was the worst.
Yeah, I'm going home. Yeah. You know what? I don't blame him. I really don't at that point. Exactly. So, oh man. So the next match is our main event. That's it. We finally reached it. And it is the TNA X Division Freeway Dance with the Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels as a champion versus the phenomenal AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe. First pin or submission wins. This is for the X Division title. And this is one of the top 5 marquee matches in TNA history of all time.
This is their number one still, I believe.
This is their only 5-star match that they've ever had for the Wrestling Observer.
Oh, who gives a shit?
I know, I'm just saying, but
also the first American 5-star match in almost 10 years.
That's right. Yeah, all the prior ones were on Japanese cards or something like that. But yes,
yeah,
and that's why fuck Dave Meltzer.
So. First pin or submission wins. Again, this was through this wave of a Ring of Honor talent coming into TNA to work television dates and stuff. And so they signed Samoa Joe that summer. They signed Christopher Daniels, I think the summer before. to come in, and they always had AJ Styles from the jump.
AJ was an original, yeah.
He was in TNA
Holy
original.
Shit!
Yeah.
You have a Dave Meltzer shirt behind you?
I do. You just noticed that.
He's a fan.
Well,
It's because I don't have any TNA stuff at the moment, so that's it.
rip that down! You pull that shit down!
No, it's my heat seeker. Fuck you.
It's working.
So there we go. Yeah, so coming into this, Christopher Daniels is the longest reigning X Division champ. I think he held it for about 4 or 5 months or so coming into this pay-per-view. So this was, at the time, their record. I think it's
still a new title.
Still
Still a pretty new title.
Yeah, fairly new title. Yep, exactly. We'll go around the horn here. Thoughts on this match? I'll go ahead and say it. This match, after it happened, was on like every single message board you could think of. Every single this is still 2005, so it's every single like file sharing site, you name it. And that's so I've seen this thing like 100 times. TNA's put it on like a billion of their compilations and stuff and everything. It's their Savage Steamboat moment, as far as I'm concerned. It's the one that put, this is the one that was being shown to like WWE fans, saying, hey, there's a new type of wrestling out there, take a look at this, and everyone being like, whoa, who are these guys? Now, it ironically sent people to look at Ring of Honor, because all 3 of these guys had Ring of Honor runs that were pretty good as well, but it got eyes on the TNA product as well, and this was it. When this happened, this went down, this was almost like almost akin to like punk rock or the underground gangster rap thing from the early 90s or something like that. It's like the cool thing to watch, so yeah.
Throwing it to.
Whoever. Pick up the baton. Go ahead, Moorhouse.
Sure. So yeah, my opinions. Again, when I've seen this match maybe 5 or 6 times now. Still a very, very great match. 3 guys telling great stories. There's not really any lull. It's consistent action. There's only maybe downtime for 10 to 20 seconds at a time.
Yeah.
And then see where these guys go in their career, like AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, both Hall of Famers.
Mm-hmm.
Christopher Daniels, well-respected indie wrestler. He never made it to the big show, but he's one of the most respected guys in the business.
He'll be in the Independent Wrestling Hall of Fame that like GCW does and stuff like that, because he's still got a great legacy on the indies too, and that's.
And this is showing like, hey, if you're tired of that Triple H JBL nonsense, then come watch these, guys flip, and it's a lot different than what you're getting on the other bit product.
Mm-hmm. Yep, this was it, and I remember did they not show this match on Spike TV when they debuted as well too? I think they did.
I'm not sure.
I think it's probably like on a best of or something like that to get people involved with TNA. I think because I remember that was like one of the first times
TNA. Spike TV started in like 03, 04. No, that wouldn't make sense.
No, it's the Spike TV.
Well, the TNA
debut.
Like, yes.
Yeah, TNA debut on Spike TV. Yeah.
No, I remember that. The very first Impact that was on Spike.
Yeah.
The Dudley Boys came in. Nash came in.
Yeah.
Sabu and Rhino had a hardcore match. AJ Styles was supposed to do a big save, but he slipped on the top rope on a springboard.
Right.
And I'm like, what a fucking loser.
And that and Nash challenged Jarrett for the world title match at Bound for Glory on that show.
Yeah.
That never happened.
I remember that happening. I remember thinking, this looks Bush League. And I never watched it ever again.
Yeah.
And but that triple threat was not on that broadcast.
Okay. Yeah. So it must have been something a little bit later on then or something, because I recall watching it on broadcast TV on Spike TV later on. It must have been like on maybe if they did like a best of 2005 or something like that around New Year's or something like that. Maybe. I don't know.
Well, they probably had some like TV to fill on Impact when they had the brother of Jerry Lynn takes on Sanjay Dutt.
Sonny Siaki's sister.
Sonny Siaki's sister. Yeah. But so Craig, I think this is the first time you obviously caught eyes on this one and that stuff. What did you think of this? This is their Savage Steamboat moment here. The triple threat.
I thought this match was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
No pun intended, because
in
it.
No pun intended.
No, honestly, it was completely not intentional. I don't know. I again maybe coming in fresh, but I just thought these guys put on a fucking clinic.
Yeah.
I thought this was a tremendous match. Might have made my own personal top 10, probably around that 9 spot. But like it was Samoa Joe is a great wrestler, probably one of the best big men because he's
big small man.
Yeah, big small man, and like AJ Styles is probably one of the best high flyers that's probably ever. I mean, he's probably up there with Shawn Michaels. And then Christopher Daniels, I haven't seen too much of before this, but looks like a great in-ring performer, and I know he's had a long career in other indie promotions and stuff like that as well. This was entertainment.
Yeah. So the thing to me that always gets me when I watch this match and that stuff is these guys do free one dive each to the outside, and those dives are, oh my God, what the hell are they doing type dives. Like Samoa Joe does the running dive through the ropes. AJ does, I think, the spiral tap to the outside, or not the spiral tap.
That's a crazy move.
The shooting star. But the spiral tap onto Joe is good too. But
I paid attention for that move specifically because of the Chris Van Fleet podcast, because AJ's mentioned, like, I got in trouble for using a sharpshooter all the time, so I had to come up with something different. Here's a move that Billy Kidman can't do.
A couple times in the match. He goes for the sharpshooter a couple times in the match too. So
our shooting star press.
Yeah.
But we haven't got Mr. TL's opinion yet.
Yeah. So Mr. TL, this match, wow.
Again, 15 attempts.
Yeah.
It is a good match.
Yes.
I'm saying it's a good match. A lot of high spots. Maybe a bit too many. Maybe a bit zero psychology.
Yes.
Because it literally held its name of total nonstop action wrestling.
Like I said, no break.
Yeah, there was no breaks, but it's just like there is zero psychology in this match. It's like it's not for me. It's not my style. I don't like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Which you're just doing flips on top of flip on top of flip on top of flip, flip, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, cool.
It's a stunt show at that point, yes.
And it was.
You think a young Matt and Nick Jackson loved this match?
Exactly.
AEW was birthed from this.
Yeah, that's funny you mentioned that. The same way I feel about the Young Bucks and watching them do their bullshit every single time is how I kind of felt watching this match. So on that level. Also, there's some other random thoughts that popped in my head was I thought AJ Styles doesn't look good with a soccer mom hair. However, he looks better now as an older dude than he does as a child.
Oh yeah, his crew cut AJ.
Ugh.
Remember, that was the haircut in 2005, everybody.
He's a good old country boy.
Yeah, sure he is. But he don't look good as a youngster.
You haven't seen him in 03 yet and that stuff because the frosted tips were.
Oh, I've seen it. Like I said, so it's really weird. Some guys just don't look good in certain points of their life, especially like when they're younger.
Yeah.
Now some people don't age well, and that's the other side of that coin.
Of course, yes.
Like a Shawn Michaels, but like some people just like they don't look good in their younger years for some reason. Like they need a little bit of maturity. Like Drew McIntyre.
Okay.
He looks like a really weird youngster. He looks bizarre as a kid, but like now he
looks like a monster now. He looks like
exactly.
monster.
Like he had to age to make all that work.
Fair enough. Yeah.
AJ Styles don't look good as a kid, and Samoa Joe looks.
He's pretty fat looking here.
Yeah.
But like he looks marshmallowy here. He doesn't look intimidating. He just looks fat. Yeah. In a way.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Scott Steiner calls it right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fat.
But Samoa Joe, maybe not today, but like when he was feuding with Roman Reigns, that kind of look that he had, that bulky look, it was like, okay, that's something.
Yeah.
That's what he's supposed to look like.
Similar to Bronson Reed.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like that. Kind of like that.
The big burly dude. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Here he just looked like a square.
Yeah. And
Christopher Daniels just looks way too small.
He's Mr. Lean.
Yeah.
He is Mr. Lean. He's extra lean.
Extra lean.
But yeah, otherwise, I mean, it is a good match, but not my style, not my favorite. Yeah, this is what I was going to ask you. This is my all-time. What is the X division?
That's always been
the wrestlers who like to be extreme.
That's no, not even. That's it.
But it's not a hardcore championship.
It's not a hardcore championship. It's not a cruiserweight
not
championship.
A weight limit.
There's no weight limit.
Because Kevin Nash was a champion at one point.
And I can't even explain the X division still to this day as it being their secondary title, because it really isn't. Because it's like, the secondary title would be like it's their TV title or their Intercontinental title or something like that.
Well, according to the pay-per-view tonight, the secondary title is a world heavyweight title.
Yeah, apparently.
Well, that's who was in the main event. Let's just, call a spade there. That's it.
But that's my whole thing is like, what? They can't define what the X division is. So I don't understand the purpose of this belt or of this division.
Well, it's like the XFL. It doesn't mean anything.
I was going to say, it's pro wrestling in the sense where they're just like, just put like an X on it. It's a gimmick.
Yeah.
Like it's a gimmick. X division.
Yeah.
Oh, a bit. Yeah.
But I hate that. I hate stuff that's like completely gimmick that has no purpose and no reasoning, and then you can't even define it.
Yeah.
I hate stuff like that.
Gotcha. You can't own X, man. X is an idea. X is like, it's like no.
Is that your Elon Musk?
I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know. Did I find an Elon Musk finally? I don't know. Maybe I did. So did I even mention the finish on this thing? Because that's kind of like the thing I do.
Somebody won the flippy flip game.
The Angel's Wings attempt is countered into a butterfly suplex into the 1-2-3 for AJ Styles. And we have the first ever 5-time X Division holder, AJ Styles. Remember, kids, to be a 5-time champion, he has had to have lost the title 4 times prior. So,
in the span of a year and a half, 2 years, the title's been around.
That's what I was going to say. The title hasn't been around for very long, only a couple of years. So, at this point, So again, this match is like on like 100 billion different DVD compilations from TNA. They've used it in all their best of stuff and whatever. So that's their, like I said, that they akin to it as their Savage Steamboat moment. And
it's their greatest match. It was in 2005, and they never had a better one.
They have never had a better one since. They have had a couple of matches in the past 5 years that have gone close on the scar scale, but have not.
But nobody was in the arena.
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly right. It's that both of them involved Omega, and it was the pandemic era, blah, blah, blah. So
I would say they've had a better promo since, though. Because I believe this pay-per-view is before the infamous Jay Lethal woo-off with Ric Flair.
That's right.
I honestly think is probably one of the greatest promos of all time.
Well, TNA
is that up there with Scott Steiner math?
Yeah,
it's up there for sure.
TNA has had some of the best promos in wrestling history, bar none.
You mean best worst or best?
No, there's fun. Like I love the Kevin Nash and Johnny Devine and Alex Shelley stuff. Even the paparazzi.
The paparazzi production stuff in 06 is good. The Steiner Math, which was 2010, 2011, I think, something like that.
Yep.
Yeah. And then
or even the main event Mafia stuff.
Main event Mafia stuff, which is the same time. Joker Sting. So
TNA was terrible then.
It's terrible, but it's a good type.
It's funny but terrible. It's WCW. That's what it was then.
It still amazes me to this day, guys, that this promotion is still around, and it's actually now maybe the second promotion in the US behind WWE.
What about AEW?
I would say that they've passed AEW at this point. Honestly,
no fucking way.
AEW is struggling.
This AEW struggle bus right now.
That bad?
I don't think it's that bad. I think TNA just
when AEW started, they're drawing about 16,000 average fans. When they started, now they're drawing about 1,000, 2,000 fans.
Yep.
Oh,
average.
live attendance?
It's the same
live
amount,
attendance just crashed. Yeah,
it's the same amount of people as TNA, and TNA just ran a pay-per-view in Toronto at the old Maple Leaf Gardens at that Mattamy Athletic Center, and they drew about 6,000 people. Paid for that.
Yeah, TNA is starting to beat AEW on crowds.
Yeah. So
wow.
Yes.
What's one of the reasons why people have been like walking away from AEW? Because I haven't been watching myself.
It's a terrible product.
Creative.
That's the big thing right now is creative. Yeah.
Like they have good wrestling. They have really good wrestling.
No, they
But
don't.
there's no creative. There's no story. Their pay-per-views. That's the only thing I really watch now. And even the last one, I only watched half of it. It's not entertaining. It's just yeah.
So
We've
Frazier,
come to realize it's nepotism. It's a NFL owner who gave his son a wrestling company.
This past week, their flagship television show is AEW Dynamite. It's on Wednesdays. They advertised a 4-hour spectacular on Wednesday because they had the time on TBS to fill because there was no NBA and the NHL was on TNT that night. So they, had the secondary channel all to themselves. So they ran 4 hours. They had a 4-hour show where nothing storyline wise happened. It's just a bunch of random matches for 4 hours.
Are they trying to like
Nothing.
follow in the steps of like WCW, or like all of a sudden MJF is gonna walk out and do like the finger poke of doom with John Moxley?
I think they already did that. Moxley carries the title in the paper bag.
Oh, geez.
They did DFA for 4 hours.
So
DF and all.
Oh,
they have enough talent.
They have too much talent.
Yeah, that's the problem. They have too much talent. They need to cut some people to and decide.
No. It ain't that. Is their owner is their booker, who's a complete dumb fuck
And a mark.
and a mark for him. Yeah, because the thing is, like I say in wrestling, the storyline matters. People need to watch wrestling with it. It has to have an interest, a purpose.
Yeah.
There needs to be a reason why two people are in the ring and they're wrestling each other.
Yeah.
It's not
there has to be a reason. You can't just put two people in there and say, here, go.
But meanwhile, on the other side of this, because we're talking TNA here, currently with TNA, they have an excellent cable deal up here with Sportsnet because they're considered Canadian content because their parent company is from Toronto. So they can classify their content up here as Canadian content. That's why they're on Sportsnet.
TNA?
Yeah.
TNA was bought by a Canadian company in 2019 or 2020?
2017.
Oh, even that. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Even earlier than that.
TNA's technically like Canada Pro Wrestling then. Right?
Yeah, basically, yes. Their roster is very light on actual full-time talent, but they have deals with other companies. Like they have a deal with NXT, with WWE, where it's like, okay, if you got people that you're not using on TV, send them to us. We'll put them in storyline and we'll make them look good and we'll make our own people look good. And they do that. They also have that with, I think like with New Japan, they have an agreement with New Japan, some New Japan people come in and so on and so forth. And so and their storylines make, a lick of sense. They've, the television shows aren't, overtly boring from what I've seen. They're compressed for time, obviously, because I think it's like an hour or something like that each.
But most importantly, they have Joe Hendry.
And they have a charismatic champion.
His
Yes.
name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. There we go.
Yeah. So there we go. And which company was getting a boost second night of WrestleMania? It wasn't AEW for sure. It was TNA with Joe Hendry showing up to wrestle Randy Orton in the surprise slot, right? So
well, it makes sense from a business model standpoint because I mean, I think gone are the days where you're working on cable deals. Like, hello, it's like Netflix now, right?
Yeah.
It's gone.
That's right.
So if you are a wrestling company and you're going to be independent, I mean, you got to take advantage of the whole wrestlers are independent contractors.
Yeah. This is the other thing. Yep. This is the other thing that TNA has going for itself too, and will always have going for itself because of its longevity and the fact that it is, and pardon the pun, because they run a show every year about it called Hard to Kill, but because they've been hard to kill for almost 20 plus years now, they have a 20 plus year tape library of guys who have made it big elsewhere that they could run over and over and over again and keep their money and the cash flow going.
Pretty much everyone who's been on top of WWE has passed through TNA wrestling at one point.
At one point or another, yeah.
You see, and that's what you say where you at that point you don't become like a farm system to the big shows like an NXT.
Mm-hmm.
We'll take guys that aren't on camera on NXT or even WWE. We'll take them out. Like imagine if a guy like Drew McIntyre got hurt, he was out on the sidelines, and his contract expires. WWE's going to bring him back.
He was a TNA guy at one point. He got released from
Drew
WWE.
Galloway.
Yep.
Yeah, and he could come back through.
Yep.
If he's got kind of like on a warm-up stint, he
created a new character when he was there.
Yeah. He could like challenge for the title and then like have a run there, kind of get back into the swing of things on like a lighter schedule.
Yep.
Then go back to WWE.
That's literally what happened.
Yeah.
That's what he did. Yeah.
There was a time in history where Drew McIntyre and LA Knight were part of the same faction, and it was in TNA.
And there was a time when Penta took on LA Knight in TNA.
In TNA, yeah.
Yeah.
And they just wrestled each other at Money in the Bank.
Yes, exactly. So there we go. So there's your full circle one. But anyway, that's the end of looking at the pay-per-view. So now it's time to take a look at our rankings. And of course, these are out of 10. And we use our very scientific system of ranking to get these rankings out of 10. Yes.
Damn, how am I going to rank this thing?
I will go first because I had mine actually written down for a while now, and I agree with it. I am giving this show a 7 out of 10. A solid 7 out of 10. Because again, the main event, through the roof, all-timer. It's one of those matches where if you want to show wrestling and the progression of wrestling to people on Mars, you would put it on part of the as part of the compilation and send it up there, for them to take a look at. It's also, one of the matches that you still see from time to time. It's like, this is TNA. This is what it is. All right, great. I thought that the middle of the card was actually the Sabin Petey Williams match was okay for what it was. I enjoyed Sabu and Abyss for what it is. It's a car wreck, whatever. I enjoyed that actually a lot more than Raven and Rhino. But knowing what happens with Rhino later in the year, I'm like, okay, this is him on the ascension up to the main event spot. And the things that really hurt this one, I think, are obviously the opening match. Who cares about those guys? Aries and Strong kind of don't do it for me because, again, it's something that could have happened in the Ring of Honor. And other than that, as you said, that Sabin Williams match could have been the opener. And Kip James, Monty Brown could have been, even a second match on there and play that card going with that.
And throw out Simon Diamond.
Yes. Yeah, I was going to say, no booking Simon Diamond on the main show. So, yes.
Do you know what I rated SummerSlam 92 with Brett and Bulldog?
I would have to go back through the tape quickly. I might be able to do that. Hang on.
Okay, I'll go last so you can do that.
Okay. Go ahead, then, Mr. Go ahead there, Mr. Moorhouse.
Sure.
And give me your ranking, and I will.
I'm going to be a little harsher than
you
were.
Yeah.
The main event, a 10 out of 10 top level main event. The overall card, 2 out of 10. Absolute trash card.
Wow. Okay.
Because of that, I don't think the main event makes the card. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10.
Oh, okay. So you're going to change that up to the free. Let me just update that.
No, 10 out of 10 plus 2 out of 10 equals 3 out of 10. I don't know. Do the math.
Whatever. There we go. Hey, it's there. Boom. So, bam, bam. All right. Craig, what are you giving this out of 10?
I'd also give it a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Just coming in fresh. I mean,
yeah.
I didn't have any of the prior knowledge of where any of these matches has happened before or anything like that. I have to just go with what my initial gut reaction was when I watched it. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought some great matches, some great action. I don't know. I could definitely see wrestling being, somebody might like the style of Brett and Bulldog more because definitely less like flippy and like high flying. It's more technical. But I could also see why people love shit like just flips and more flips off then double back with another flip, and then
right.
Some people really like that kind of style as well. Is people want to just see some people get sliced open with a pizza cutter and get blood in the audience, So it's like everybody has I think, different taste. So I try to look at
variety. Yeah.
If this is a flippy match, then it's a flippy match. If this is more of a technical match, I think as a more of a casual fan, I can kind of shift into different, like, okay, this is what I'm going to be getting here. And I'm okay with that because I don't really have a hard preference for what I want. So I feel that just coming in, seeing these matches as they were, I kind of saw what I was getting with them in the style. And I thought I was entertained. These were good. If I was live at that event, I would have walked away being like, God, that was great. Flippy and more flippies. And, sure, like maybe, someone like Mr. TL would be like, nope, no, I didn't like that at all. And I'd be like, oh, I like the flippy flippies, but, that's why I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Right,
wants to watch more Dino Bravo matches. Yeah. Slow pace.
I'm trying to find it because I thought I had it here.
Hey, Mike Tyson loved Dino Bravo. It's one of his favorites of all time.
Okay, I've done the recon. You gave SummerSlam 92 a 6 out of 10.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I thought it was lower. Okay. I'm going to agree with the house. This is a 3 out of 10.
So 3 out of 10. Okay. Now I can't find where your thing went.
No, I never want to watch. I will watch the main event again. I don't want to watch any of the other matches again.
Yeah. Well, that's probably the reason why the main event is on like
3 out of 10.
Oh, sorry.
Wow, nice.
Okay, hang on. I'll change that. Sorry, I had 6 out of 10 on my mind because that's what you gave.
I have been misrepresented.
Not anymore. That's a clerical error on my end. There we go. 3 out of 10. So good. Yes, but again, there we go. That's that main event there. So yeah, that's it. So that's TNA Unbreakable 2005. Maybe somewhere down the line, maybe we do Bound for Glory because that's kind of it's a weird card. Just for the amount of talent that they actually bring in talent for that one too. So it's a strange one, but
I'd call it TNA Unwakeable.
Oh,
because it put me to sleep 14 times.
I'm going to tell the Undertaker here to rest in peace. That's it. So, any loose ends that we got right now as we pass the 2-hour mark on the live pod stream tonight? From
no, sir.
Anything that we want to really talk about? Nothing at all. No. Okay, good.
What's next?
Well, since we've made that adjustment, okay. So I want to get this on record so we can clarify this with you, Mr. TL. So we were talking initially with the lineup. So that was Moorhouse's selection. My selection next will be, and the next show that we will do is ECW Barely Legal 1997. So
okay. Yep.
that you'll get links for that and that stuff, and that's coming up on the channel here in whenever. We'll get that when we get to it. And that's it. Are we doing Over the Edge 99?
Yes.
Okay. So after that will be TL's Over the Edge 1999. So,
yes.
So that means Craig P. Frazier, you are on the clock, but you don't have to give us your suggestion tonight. Obviously, take some time to think about it.
I'm thinking of it.
Yeah.
I may, you know what? Let me explain what the switch up is all about.
Please do. Yes.
Because this was confusing.
Because we are back on the Darkest Timeline after saying that we weren't going to go on the Darkest Timeline. I completely respected that. I was like, okay, great. Just let me know
what I said was I saw something in that pay-per-view that sickened me so deeply that I feel like we shouldn't watch it and shouldn't review it. Mm-hmm. However, in researching what I saw is not really what I saw.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Say it, because I'm going to say it. What do you think I'm talking about?
The patch of sweat blood in the corner.
Yes. There's a patch of what looks like blood in the corner of where Owen Hart would have dropped.
Where he fell, yeah.
I thought that was his like body imprint that they just left on the mat all night long.
Mm-hmm.
And it sickened me when I figured it out.
Yeah.
However, that's not what that is.
Okay.
On a Sunday Night Heat, the Hardys and I think it was the Brood or something.
There was a bloodbath.
They had a bloodbath angle, and that little patch there was from that.
Okay.
From that artificial blood stuff.
Because this was the beginning of that was around we'll get to it when we get to it, obviously. But that was the beginning of the new Brood versus
the old Brood
thing, where it was Edge and Christian out, and the Hardys were in as the new Brood. So.
Yes. So I thought that little patch thing was actually like Owen Hart's imprint, and they just continued to wrestle like nothing happened, and that sickened me. But it's actually from a stunt earlier on Heat that had nothing to do with the incident. So I was like, okay, fine. That was my qualm. That was my controversy. I'm like, okay, so it's not what I thought it was. Let's watch it.
Well, the road to the darkest timeline continues, and yes, we will get to that event, which I have never seen from front to back. I've
never watched it. Nope.
I've never watched it, and I am shocked. I'm kind of curious to see what version of the event they have up on Netflix, to tell you the truth, if it's like, and how much editing they've done on it. So
I think I started watching Over the Edge 99, and I think I did see what Ty was talking about.
Yeah.
Too. I thought.
Yeah.
I thought there was. Well, I understand where your mind went to, Ty.
Yeah.
Seeing that.
I've seen it because the like the Stone Cold Steve Austin Hell Yeah compilation, they show shots from, like, it's a video compilation from Taker and Austin from later in the night and that stuff. And you see Taker kind of looking over at that edge of the ring and that stuff, and kind of, whatever, right? Just looking and just like, shit, like, this is scary as fuck. What am I doing here, right? So
kind of like my first thought when I was like, there's no fucking way that they left.
Yeah,
like,
of course,
no way.
Yeah,
I didn't even know. I thought there wasn't much. I don't know much about the incident, but like how it looked. Obviously, nobody was seen the tape of it.
No,
but like I thought there wasn't much blood because I thought it was more of like a blunt impact, like internal bleeding situation.
Yes.
So I thought, I didn't know if that was
right
or not. But yeah, I think it got to that point because I think they obviously cut right around the whole thing, like where JR's talking and all that.
Yeah.
And I thought,
I think there's a Triple H promo that is immediately right after the incident.
Yes.
Triple H
Jeff Jarrett.
Or Jeff Jarrett.
It's a Jeff Jarrett promo.
Deborah.
Yeah.
Jeff Jarrett, Deborah.
Yeah. Well, and we'll get to that when we get to the review, obviously.
Okay.
Do
you have like an original like edit of that?
Of it?
I don't. I could probably try and track one down, but
because the thing is, the Netflix version, it almost cuts it out to the point that you don't know what ever happened.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
They make a thing that says,
because that was going to be the version I was going to watch for the show, is the Netflix version, obviously.
I mean, you can, but they almost cut it out to the point that you don't know anything happened at all.
Okay.
I don't even think they don't keep in the speech of JR and King.
They change commentary or tracks.
And I didn't grab a copy of that when the network went south. I have copies of some other stuff from the network, but I don't have a copy of that, unfortunately. So,
yeah, the only reason I was asking to see that is I wanted, if I was going to go review it, I wanted to see how, in part of it, to be angry at WWE because they, like, Vince obviously went ahead with it.
Mm-hmm.
Just how, because it is one of those things, it's like almost like that kind of macabre curiosity, because you're like, how did they go through with it? I almost like, not like I want to see the grief on their faces or anything, like, but like I want to see how
they coped,
or something like that, how they coped. Yeah, how they. It's almost like you could watch it and then you could be like, okay, I saw that once, because this was before I just before I started watching.
Yeah, I can look into the library that I had got years ago from my buddy Mark, who had. He taped a bunch of wrestling from like 96, 97 right on to about 2000. That's where we watched, or 2001, I should say. That's where we watched the No Way Out off the pay-per-view feed from. That was from one of his tapes. I can look and see if there's a Over the Edge 99 line cut from that or something.
I would like to see it.
Yeah, I'll start digging. I have the technology now, as Moorhouse can attest, that I can dub stuff pretty quickly now. So there we go. So,
sweet.
Yep.
But that won't be for a while because we still got Barely Legal 97.
Barely Legal 97. Yes.
ECW.
Our next ECW, our next show, our Classic Nitros take. We're going to the dance, boys. This is the dance. This is ECW Barely Legal 1997. A little Beyond the Mat reference for those who don't know. Maybe I'll include the clip from Beyond the Mat too on the G Drive so you can tell what I'm talking about. The dance is the pre-show kind of hype up locker room speech that Paul Heyman gives to the ECW roster when they break.
Oh yeah.
From that,
I've seen
nobody wanted you.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think Frazier has ever seen it, so we'll have to get it over to him.
Cool.
To see. So yes, the dance. Absolutely. So well, we'll give Dark Extension LARP now that we got the correct spelling for it. Again, there we go.
We have also 15 takes.
Yes, exactly.
We have our next event on June 21st at Chambers Creek Campground, just west of Walker Mountain House.
Okay.
Towards Nordeck.
Uh-huh.
It is our third annual Tournament of Glory. So unlike most of our
Ooh.
LARP events where it's heavy story arc and role play, this event will have a lot of different events. So if you wanted to come test your archery ability, because we have our LARP arrows, we got duels, a battle royale. We have
Nice.
later on we have a
Is it a Rumble Royale?
It is everybody against each other.
Yeah,
And
you're drawing numbers. Do you start with 2 and then in 30
Nope.
seconds the next guy comes? Oh, okay.
We start with we get everybody out on the pitch. One-on-one duels is the one-on-one. That's just
Gotcha.
one-on-one duel. And then
Yeah.
the battle royale. And also duels is just weapon strikes, whereas we do have like magic effects and like healing and stuff like that in a regular game. That's the battle royale. So we get everybody out there on the pitch, and it's last person standing.
I'm trying to picture now what a Royal Rumble LARP style would look like. He'd have 2 guys starting. It would be like, here is Zorlak the sorcerer, and he's going one-on-one with
Snorlax.
This guy just lies down and sleeps.
with Mobia, the warrior, and that stuff. And then 30 seconds later, oh, who is this? Oh, it's Merrick the Imp. He's running to the field.
Merrick
It's Jigglypuff.
LARP is definitely full of moments that make you laugh. We had one just in our last game quickly that we came out later as undead and ghouls and all this stuff.
Oh, nice. Yes.
My buddy Mike was playing our Dread Pope. He had like kind of looked like the lead singer from the band Ghost.
Yeah.
And we had this thing where we have this magical artifact that we were trying to get our hands on. The players were trying to protect it from us. And we put an air tag on it. And so what it was, we had this book, we cut out a hole, we put our phone in and put the air tag on it so we could track it. So they couldn't hide it from us. So we were basically following whoever had it throughout the trees.
Oh, fair.
But we also had this relic, this magic sword that we've been containing that has death in it and stuff like that in our game.
Yes.
I need to leave immediately, but not because of this, because I have to leave.
Okay, well, we will
Yeah, we
wish
should wrap
you
it up.
adieu. Follow you on Twitter at Mr. TL. Yes.
Bye, I want all the smoke. Bye, everybody. I gotta poo.
Okay, bye. He's usually one of the last ones around, and tonight he's one of the first ones. But anyway, there we go. So so you guys got the LARP Fig happening on the weekend.
Yeah,
of the 21st.
June 21st, Chambers Creek Campground. Come out, check it out if you want to try one. Bring out some base layers. We'll throw maybe some kit on you. Give you a sword. And
tell you, for whatever reason this year, June in Alberta, it's been like really cold overnight, and it's like I don't understand why. We have not reached our double-digit highs at all for overnight periods.
For a cold sleeper, I like it.
Well,
there you go.
I would beg to differ after last weekend.
I bet.
The 31st was our first game that we did, and it was 30 degrees during the day.
Yeah.
I think it did taper off in the evening, but like I almost threw up in my skeleton mask because I was getting heat exhaustion. Because I'm
super hot. Yeah.
I'm fighting 4 people and I start coughing.
Oh no.
And I was like, oh, okay, it's just a cough. And then I felt like a really wet cough, and I was like, I'm going to throw up if I don't just stop. I went back to our little camp area, like a fan. I drank some water. I just sat there, and I was like, I needed a break.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're excited for the event, and it'll be a good time.
Yeah, there we go. Right on. Cool. And Moorhouse, of course, we got a chance to hang out last weekend, you and I, and check out some indie wrestling. By the way, we got to get you out, Craig, to an independent wrestling show. That's the next thing we got to do.
That'd be fun.
Yes, we'll have to do that for sure. We'll have to get him involved into independent wrestling, especially the type that we went to go see like last weekend. I think he'd have a riot about it for sure. But so you got the kayfabe media and that stuff still in development, or you got. Let us know when you get links set up and ready to go for that. So
yeah, working on it. I actually did leak a match, just an old Stampede match that I cut from the footage, just as a preview.
It's out.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna be working on documentary footage featuring each wrestler who traveled through Canada and has found fame elsewhere.
Right on. Cool. Well, glad to have played a little bit of a role there. That's nice. So. And thank you very much. So that was a lot of fun. So that's you'll be seeing a lot of the Nitromaniac TV tape library over on Moorhouse's channels and exploits here coming up, because I did a bunch of dumping for him over the winter here and everything of all my old Stampede stuff and everything that I have. So that's it. So, and also some commercials, which will be on his stock commercial channel. So there we go. So there's some funny spots from 99 and 2000. I can tell you that much. They're included in it. So
everyone likes the old commercials.
That's right.
They don't make them like they used to.
Yeah. You can follow me everywhere at Kellen Nitro and linktree.com/Kellen Nitro. Got stuff popping off not only here, but also on the Drag Files channel because it is race season, which means I don't know when it'll be the next time I'll see you guys. Probably sometime during the summer, but it'll be, on an off weekend or something. But we'll get the band back together and we'll do it up. So anyways, for myself.
What was happening at Cashel Raceway today? Do you know?
There was supposedly I'm just trying to think on the top of my head out there what they had. I know on the drag strip they had just their normal points bracket series thing, which is like all of the weekend, quote amateur racers going. I think they had the road course going too, and that's about it. I don't think there was anything super special that was happening out there. Why was there a lot of traffic or something?
I was at Red Tail Landing golfing, and I heard just like what sounded like motorcycles all day.
That was motorcycle hot lap day then probably. So on a road course. Yeah.
Perfect.
I think they had the road course this weekend was the motorcycle guys. So
perfect.
Yeah, that's fun. So yeah, everybody get a chance. Go check out radraceway.com and see if you want to go check out an open track day. There's lots of neat stuff that shows up for that. So it's like 1 minute it's Gran Turismo with cars, and then the next minute it's like MotoGP with racing bikes and stuff. So it's pretty cool.
Right.
Yeah, it's lots of fun. So all right, for Fraser, for Moorhouse, for myself, for Mr. TL, I'm Kellen Nitro. We'll say later days. Happy wrestling watching, and we'll catch you next time here on Nitro Maniac TV's Wrestling Unlimited. Later.
You got the little man, you got the big man, and you got the bigger man.